Well, hello, my YouTube friends and family. Boy, is it hot here. I hope you all are having a great day. So we're going to do our usual Welcome Wednesday, and I'm going to put 10 channels into the room, and I will link them once the video is over. So here are the 10 names today. Well, hey, Liz. So I'm going to put them in the room. And I think I got all my Wednesdays caught up now. I got all of their links below in the description. I try to do 10 names every single Wednesday, kind of like a shout out to their channel. So we have Priceless Beauty is number 1. We have 2, Renee Griffin. We have 3, Selena. 4 is JLA After Dark. What I always recommend is people go check out the channels, and if they like them, leave them a comment and make new friends. Number 5 is Princess Fame. 6 is, let me get her name typed in. See if I can do this right. It's UnBoxIt. Let's see. It's a capital I. Did I capitalize it? Yeah. With Maureen McD. And number 7 is Kerri Teeter. You can't see me. How come you can't see me? August 1st, Hangouts is going to be gone. Number 8 is the Painting Stoof. Oh, that's weird. Number 9 is Pink Butterfly. And number 10 is going on Grumpy 2.0. 2.0. I forgot the rest. Oops. So that is the channel. It's going on Grumpy 2.0. I don't know why that it's not working, because I see myself up on 2 screens. That's weird. How about now? Let me refresh. Can you see me yet? Okay. Okay. It says on here, this Hangout is live. It says Hangouts on Air is going away August 1st. For quick streaming, try youtube.com webcam. This is going to be interesting. Do you feel like crafting tonight? If you feel like crafting tonight, I can send you an invite. It's up to you. Want to come up on my panel, Luz? I'll let you decide. You don't have to. No pressure. It's up to you. I was trying to figure out what to do because I really didn't have anything planned. I didn't feel good last night, so I didn't feel like doing my live last night. Alrighty, let me get the link to you. Hold on a second. I'll get my email up here. I don't have Hangouts, the app on my computer, so what I got to do is open up my YouTube, and then I find you and send you a link. Let me see here. Invite. Get the link copied. And let me find you. There you are. I sent it straight to your Hangouts. Okay. Who's the third person lurking in here? I don't know what I want to do. I'm trying to figure out what to do tonight. You just let me know when you get up here and we'll switch it back and forth. This will be cool. This is the first time I've ever done this. I might just take, I have a laptop in my store that's slow as Moses. There she is. Every time I say Tina A, there she is. It's mental telepathy. I've been watching Vampire Diaries on Netflix, and boy, is it a good series. I finished Outlanders. I like Vampire Diaries. It's very interesting. It was funny. I'll share a funny story with you guys. So I got up in the middle of the night and I had to go to the bathroom really bad. And my husband's been watching the Vampire Diaries too. And I had the door open in the bathroom, and it was hysterical because usually I scare him when I'm up in the middle of the night. He just walks in the bathroom. He's like, like he didn't see me sitting there because he's still half asleep. So last night I couldn't resist because we've been watching the Vampire Diaries. I go, "Rawr," and he goes, he jumped in the air. Scared the crap out of him. He like said my full name. He says, "You're so mean." It's not like you don't know you live with me. We can go to the bathroom anytime. He says, "Yeah, but you growled." And it was funny. His eyes get all glowy today because I was teasing him about it. I said, I know, Tina, was so funny. I told him, I said, "What's the vampire series getting to you, Mike?" That scared the crap out of him. Oh my God, it was hysterical. And he's like, because we just got to the episode where the one guy, Tyler, turned into a werewolf. So the growl was like perfect timing. But I thought it was hysterical. My husband's a scaredy cat anyways, so it's funny. I I didn't do it. I mean, I wasn't doing it to be mean. I just couldn't resist. Oh my gosh. She cracks me up. I had this book, and it was funny because I thought that I took all my pressed flowers out and put them away. And I guess I didn't, because here's more. I got to find the baggies, though, because I don't know what I did with the baggies to put them in before I start pouring them out of here. So I'm just going to sit over here, I think, tonight while we're just goofing off and talking and start pulling some stuff out that I haven't unpacked yet. I really need a way to organize my crafts.
Tammy, can you hear me now?
Yes, there you are.
Yes, I made it. That was easier than I thought. Sorry about the mess on my desk.
Oh, you're fine. It's great having you up here. Let me know when you want me to put the camera on you, and I will. Okay. I'm just over here digging through stuff I got from one of Patty's sales I haven't unpacked yet, because like I have some totes, but the only thing I don't like, because I've been really sitting and thinking about how I want to set my crafting stuff up. And
pretty.
Thank you.
That is so pretty.
And I like seeing things. Like I don't like things hidden. So I was trying to figure out a way, because like I have totes with stuff in them, but I don't want to bury them, because if I do, I'll never see them. These are from a while ago. I do try to have my napkins like all in a box. I just didn't take these ones and put them with the rest of them yet, because they're that rice paper. But I don't know. Like I have one tote that's got some fabrics in it, and I have another tote that's got some other stuff in it, but it's like I'm running out of space because my totes aren't that big. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make it better. I love the way she packages stuff. I don't want to take this apart till I use it. Is that like awful? I think it's so pretty the way she packs her stuff. I love the way you do yours too, because I still have your fabrics together till I go to use it. That way I know where it's at. They're still in the boxes and bags they came in, so I know where to search for them.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a good idea.
I just wish I had a place where I could put them all, though, you know. Tina, did you hear the story of me scaring my hubby loose?
No, tell me, what you do?
We've been watching Vampire Diaries on Netflix. And I got up in the middle of the night because I had to go to the bathroom, and he come around the corner, and I went, "Arr." He said my whole name and was like, "Oh my goodness, you scared the you know what out of me." It was hysterical. I go, "Well, I can't help you're afraid." I said, "Because we're watching scary movies." But it was so funny. It was priceless. It really was. So, but I don't know. I thought it was comical. He didn't think it was comical, but I did. So I was thinking on this one, I think I'm just going to leave this one finished, since the people never got back to me about the fundraiser. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this in my Etsy store.
And it's so pretty.
Thank you. The Walk Through Nature one. I don't really think there's anything I would add to it. I kind of like it the way it is, a little bit more plain.
That's the one you showed me, right?
Yeah. I just want to flip through to see if, because I think I have enough pockets and things like that.
I think it's gorgeous. I don't think it needs a thing.
Thank you.
I told you, if I wasn't up to date, I would have bought it. If I was up to date on my bills, I would have bought it from you.
This one here, though, I'm not going to put in for as much as the Holly Hobby one, then, because the Holly Hobby one I did a lot more. Like I spent more money, you know, making that one.
But it was worth it. The Holly Hobby is gorgeous.
Nobody's bought it yet. It's still sitting in the store. I'm gonna take your advice and do the, leave it in there for like a month and then, drop the price or whatever. But I'm not gonna go under 25 for that one.
I don't think you should. I think it's worth it.
But this one here, I think I might go a little cheaper. Because I don't. This one here is a little bit plainer, and I didn't really put as much. I mean, I put time into it, but not as much money into this one. So I think what I'm going to do is probably.
Even though I believe your time is worth anything. Did you see Michelle's live today?
No.
Oh, it was amazing. Michelle is amazing.
I didn't know she was having a live.
I think it was a spontaneous thing.
I missed it.
But she talked about journals, and she talked about how she prices her things and why she comes up with them and the classes she took, and she gave some great advice. Now, can I quote her? No, I'm sorry. I'm not one of those people who can quote, but she gave some great advice. And if you can go back on and see it, I think it's called Journal Something Part 2.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to watch it.
You should. And she gave like some amazing advice. And, she talked about classes. I would love to take some of the classes she was talking about that she had taken. And she showed some of her journals, and she showed the beautiful journals she bought. Hi, Tina.
We'll go back and forth. I said it to both of us.
A beautiful journal she got from Maggie. Oh, some great stuff. It was just really nice. I enjoy her lives.
Well, I didn't work today, so I wouldn't have got the notification anyways. I didn't see it though when I did check my phone, but I wouldn't get it anyways because I didn't work today because I had to go take care of some of the stuff that I need for my tests coming up.
Okay. Sorry, I have to
It's okay.
take the sound off for this one. Forgot about that. Even though I think that phone still makes that noise. Can you see my screen, Tammy?
Yeah. Are we going back and forth, Tina?
Can you see my cats?
Your kitties.
And my what is it called? Rainbow Bright.
Oh, I love Rainbow Bright. They need to come down some.
Oh, okay. Sorry about the mess.
They're like up in the air. I see feet.
Still too high? I don't know where my camera is. I can't see it. You know how usually when you go on that there's a window that has my name on it and a window that has your name on it? I see my phone. Now I see it. Okay. Sorry,
there might be a delay too.
No, I did think it's just the camera because I moved it around for my sister today. And sorry about the mess, but I've been working here part of the afternoon trying to get these. I'm trying to do the 3 little kittens who lost their mittens, and I was trying to finish the Rainbow Brights. Because if I don't, it's also that I have a shadow. I need to push my screen back so I can see. Okay. So I can see where I'm at. It's more here where my phone is. So I need to put them down here. Can you see them now?
Mm-hmm. They're cute.
The way I'm sitting, the light, I get a... So I was trying to do the 3 little kittens, and then I was trying to do Rainbow Bright, and I'm going to do the sprites. I've moved them back on the other side. So you see my messy table. Sorry about that, but I'm working as I'm talking to you.
You're fine. Tina, are you ready to work that?
It's usually on this side, so it should be right there. More centered now, and less of my mess showing. My desk is a complete mess.
There you go.
It's a little better.
Tina, you ready to come up here? I've been trying to get Tina up here for months.
No, it's great. Tina, you should try it. It's really easy.
I had her. We did a one-on-one cam video already, so we've had a conversation through it. But I was hoping once we did private, she would feel more relaxed. If you're ready, Tina, you can come up. You should show us the journal you got started.
Yes. Tina, you have a lot of experience, or you're pretty new like me?
She's learning like we are, I think. I think, Liz, you're the one that has the most experience so far. Me and Tina have the most experience watching other people.
I started in October.
So you can be in bed and still get up here. I don't know how you set it to where it shows like a screen or whatever, but you could come up and talk with us. I just don't. How do you put it on just a picture if she doesn't want to show her face?
Well, what I did was I put my camera facing down. I put my camera facing down.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you have a laptop, Tina, or do you use a camera where you can face it in another direction? Because sometimes people use laptops and they can't do that.
Oh, yeah. When I borrowed my daughter's computer, I had to have it. I had to move I put the computer in the dresser drawer, and I laid it down in order to do my first live. But then I rearranged my closet so I could take my laptop out of my closet, because I was kind of buried in at that time. I unburied myself though.
Well, there's got to be a way, because I've seen people do lives where they just put up like a screen of a picture.
Yes. Well, when my daughter was first starting up my stuff, because she did all of that, she took a picture on the Hangouts, and for the first test that we did, where I talked to my other sister that lives in Staten Island, and all she seen was the screen. She couldn't see me because my daughter had taken a picture, and she put the picture there. Now, what she did, I don't know.
I was looking in settings to see if they had anything like that.
Okay, have a good time. Take your key.
No, the only thing I see in settings is my camera.
I like the camcord better because we can just put it there, and then it can face down, and you don't have to see me, and you can hear me clearly, and I think that's great.
Well, I'll take in. Let me see here.
Oh, here, Michelle's giving you directions. Thank you, Michelle. Can we read your screen?
Oh, hold on. Tina, I just stuck the link into you whenever you're ready if you want to come. Oh, Michelle's here. Oh, hey, Scott.
I just told Tammy about your wonderful live today.
Let's see. I know I'm going to have to go watch it because I totally didn't get the thing. I wasn't working today, so I didn't get your thing pop up to see that you had a live today, Michelle. I missed. I'll have to go back and watch it. I had to go down to the pharmacy today and pick up the stuff I need for next week. Everything happens next week. I dread this. I'm going to be starving by the time this is over. They gave me a 2-day food menu that I'm only allowed to eat certain foods and all this other stuff. It's interesting, to say the least. And then my vehicle decides it wants to leak all my, I can't even think. Yeah. My fluid, not brake fluid, but oh God, power steering fluid was in a puddle under my vehicle today. After a couple months ago, just paying $400 to get it fixed. So I had that to deal with today too. So now I'm out of vehicle. I got this icky test coming up. I'm just having a wonderful couple of weeks. You know how it is. When it rains, it pours. One thing bad happens and everything falls apart. But I can't wait to see it. You gave some advice today, I heard.
Yeah.
So I can't
Great
wait.
advice. It was great.
Hey, I like advice on stuff. That's what I have a hard time doing is pricing stuff.
Well, just things to consider.
Heck, the most I ever sold in a journal was I think $25 or something like that. I've never sold higher than that. Because I don't know. You know, so it's really hard, I think, to price things myself. I have a hard time doing it because I feel like such an amateur. But that'll be fun. It'll be fun to watch. I just usually don't count my time, Michelle. What I put into mine is what I pay for into the book. I never do my time because I mean, I feel that sometimes it's hard to do your time because to me, gathering the pieces takes the most time. I even know that about digital. Is like as soon as I would find all the pieces to design a digital page, I could be at it for 3 hours. So, you know, and then sometimes it's faster. To me, it was always like getting all the pieces together. And then once you get the pieces together, putting them together, I think was a lot faster. So if I sat and I actually billed for my time, people would never be able to afford my journals because I'm a slowpoke.
When you watch a video,
yeah, well, I don't do like an 8-hour day of them either. And that's another problem is my journal making is part-time, not full-time. My store is full-time and I only use a little bit of time here and there to put into my journals, which really sucks. I envy the people who have like 8 hours to do a journal because I don't. So it's like all week long, I'm usually not doing anything with them. And then when the weekend hits and I do get involved, I find myself spending the whole night. I know Michelle knows what I'm talking about too, because when you get lost in them, your thought process takes off and it'll be like Saturday and I'll start like at night and I don't get done until like the next day at noon. And I'm still not done with it. It's just, you know, you just have those moments where it hits you. You know what I mean? I know, but you know what I mean? Like working a full-time job, I feel like it interrupts sometimes. It's like when my mojo flows, I don't want to stop. It's like I want to get it all out as much as possible with the ideas that's rushing into my head at the same time. And it really sucks because I could do it on like a 3-day binge and I can't. Because I have to stop my flow to do my store. You know, it's just really hard sometimes to balance because when I get started in an art project, I just don't want to stop. And I know one time my husband was laughing at me because I was designing a tag because I used to be in an MSN site called Designing Tags. 3 hours it took me to do one creation of just one page. And he was like, what are you doing? One of these days, I'll have to show you my animations I created, Michelle. That was an animated page. And what it was is we just played with stuff. It wasn't like we got paid. This was just like a learning process. So we took like a makeup page. Okay, I'll describe this picture because I don't know where it's at to show you right this second because I've got like 4 external hard drives filled with crap. But it's a picture. It was from a cosmetic page, and it was a girl who had her eyes shut, and she had blue eyeshadow on, and she's holding a blue rose. And then there's this great big long like stem that she's holding in front of her. So the picture itself was cropped out of the background. I added white satin pieces to the background because I couldn't get a big white satin piece to do the background. So it was done like tiles. Then I put the girl in front, and then I took water and an animation and I made it run down the stem and drip. It's the most beautiful thing I ever created. So when we were playing in the MSN site, what you would do is post, and then people would come in and you would show what your picture looked like, but they couldn't take it. They could only request their name being in it. So like I had 65 requests for people's name on this particular picture because it was so pretty. But I could just get so lost in it. And of course, nothing mattered about copyrights and all that kind of stuff because all we were doing was playing games with it. You know, like checking in, and the last word was hysterical. People would say, no, 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 I got the last word. You would see faces of kids with their tongues sticking out. Oh my gosh, Michelle, if you had seen half the animations that we had fun playing with, even that other people made, it was incredible. So that's the kind of stuff we did. And that's what I started scrapbooking. I never learned offline how to scrapbook. I learned how to do it digitally first. So this is all new to me, adding things you can go in the store and buy because everything I did was online and flattened. And I don't even know if I can find one to show you because I'm on my computer. All I got to do is flip my camera up, but they were a blast. And like the site that I got into was all people from all different countries. And I have like 6,000 tags done in my first name. Like 3,000 to 6,000. I got a lot because for your birthday and stuff, they would ask you your favorite things, kind of like we do in junk journaling. And we listed things that were acceptable on tags and things that weren't. And it's all different. It's hard. I think it's harder to do physical than it is the online stuff. But let me see if I can find one for you. I'll put it on loose while I'm looking. Sorry, Liz. I don't mean to blah, 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 blah. I'll stick it on you for now while I'm looking this up because I'm going to try to show Michelle a couple of the ones we made. If I can find them, I'm going to look.
No, it's okay. I'm not worried. All you see is my cat.
It's not on this external hard drive. I still have all the programs and
You can
everything.
see my cats. They're hand painted.
Your cats are cute.
They're drawn.
Let's see if I can find one. I just can't remember where I stored them because I was trying to organize. Good luck with that. I was trying to organize everything on another hard drive, what I wanted to keep and get rid of. Like I've got thousands of fonts. I've got so many font styles that make you cry. There's so many of them. It's unbelievable. Because we shared, like somebody started a Google group page and everybody shared, and it was just crazy. Like I've got thousands there.
They're the 3 little kittens. I don't know if I'm in the right place. 1, 2, 3 little kittens.
Aww.
And I'm going to do their mittens. And behind them, they're going to have the little phone. And I'm going to put them on a card. Because I have a sister who has the base. And I make all these little things for her. And then in her book, her Mother Goose book, she'll have the 3 little kittens. She'll have, see, this is another one. I got to finish them. And then you put your cards behind them. And here's Rainbow Bright. She's not finished. And I gotta do her face. Your journals are beautiful. My journals don't look like your journals. Everybody has their little things. And they're hand drawn. But I didn't do the Rainbow Bright face because I'm a little bit nervous about that. And I'm also doing what are they called? Strawberry shortcake. I did Holly Hobby already. I put them away. Tammy seen them. I showed them to Tammy. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Coming from you, that's like wow. Because wow, after what I seen today, you're like amazing. You have to come on more and help us newbies. I only started, well, I've always done some kind of crafts, mostly wooden stuff. And I have done, you remember in the 80s and in the 90s how they did fabric books? I used to do those. So I know about manipulating the fabrics and stuff like that. That I know about. But this journal world is new to me. I'm just amazed by it. I have a lot of fun with it. And especially children's books for my sister. This is some I want. I want some shabby chic. I want some Victorian stuff, but I haven't gotten there yet. I'm gonna take some classes, so when I make those, they come out nice. And there's things I just like that I haven't gotten to yet, which I'm just gonna try because that's all I can do is try. And that's it. I like children's books. I really, really like children's books. My sister gets so excited every time I make her one. I made her one with dogs. That was the last one I made her. I finished it yesterday. I gave it to her though. I finished it with her because, you know, I show her options and then she tells me what she likes and what she doesn't. And then I put it together. I let her help me pick everything. She paints for me.
All right.
Did you find it, Tammy?
I found one of my other hard drives, but I'm missing one. Okay, let me see here. I got so much stuff on here. It's crazy. All right, let's see here. My screen name was the Passion Kiss letter, or for you, it was the number 4 letter U. So that was my very first screen name on Yahoo after, because I had one, my daughter had Baby Jade Blue, I made Baby Jam Blue. I don't know. We were trying to figure out cute names and that one came up. And so my pictures that you'll see are either in Passion Kiss or Tammy, because they just did them in both. And one of the ladies was from Canada. Her name was Harmy, and the other one was Maryland. I forget I don't know if Maryland was Canadian or not, but she was my favorite tag designer. God, I loved seeing her tags. And she spoiled me because she used to make tags for me all the time. And she had Siggy Piggies. I don't know, it's just a funny thing they made up and created stuff. And I know Michelle's gonna hate this, but one of the tag designers loved frogs. She absolutely adored them so much that they became like her actual one of her email accounts was like Hoppy Froggy. That's how much she loved frogs. I know. So when you say you hated them, it was crazy because she loved them. Like she wanted all her tags done in frogs. And I thought, oh my God, Michelle would hate her. That's how it was written out. And then later, this is what my ID turned into. And when I started hanging out in the computer room, this is what the guys started calling me. So that kind of stuck with me because one of my friends had cracked a bite. So Passion Bite was another one. And here was another one with 2 T's. I actually still have Passion Brat on Pal Talk. That's where you can find me on Pal Talk under Passion Brat with 1 T. But Passion always stayed with me. And the guys used to pick on me all the time going, because people would say, you know, have sexual slurs because of the name Passion. And I'm like, listen, Passion is how people knew me. I was the only Passion in this one chat room, and that's how they knew who I was. So I can't just leave that name. So I told the guys, I said, fine, name me something. So they put out Port Echo. They were putting out like names that were computer, and it's got to have passion on it. So Passion Bite was born. And some guy comes in and says, I'll take your passion, but I was dying laughing. I said, it's never going to change. I'm always going to be teased just because of the name Passion. Hey, Super. But it's all good because I became friends with a lot of guys in the computer room. They knew that I wasn't on there for anything bad. I like the word passion. I don't know why. And then when you did that journal called Passion, that's what I thought was so funny, Michelle, because it's like if you only seen the tags I have with passion on them. It's like, oh my God. I was like, she's reading my mind over there. I found one, but I don't know if any of mine are in here. I'm kind of looking for some of the tags that had. It's hard for me to find the ones I did because they're probably buried in one of these, but I've got a lot. Let me see if there's any on here to show you. Okay, here's one. Okay, this is what we would do. Yes, so true, Michelle. Books have always been a passion of mine. So what we could do, okay, is we would get in touch with an artist that we liked. So one of the artists was Ryan Vernon. One was Garv Graphics. One was Yeagle. Yeagle actually designed the little girl on the front of the Coppertone bottle with her little pants down with the dog. That's a Yeagle. So what we would do is we would write these artists. This is before they became famous or, you know, on commercials and things, I should say. We would send them an email via, this is how we did the copyright thing. And they would approve it, and then we would post it in our MSN site that we were allowed to use their stuff because we didn't make profit off it. The only thing we had to do, they would give us rules to follow. So like, I'm going to show you right now a Ryan Vernon I just pulled up someone made for me. And on this particular one, you could put your watermark on these tags, but you had to put the copyright in their name. And sometimes they would even have you put the site up where their site is to get the pictures. I used Popeye Wong a lot. He didn't care if you used copyrights on his pictures, but he did hang our pictures on his showcase. Mine, I had 2 of them I made with his girls, and I was on his showcase for 5 years. And if I can find that picture that I made, I'll show you, but God only knows where it's buried, but I will eventually because it's really cute. It's a girl sitting on a set of dice. So you'll know what that looks like when the time comes. But anyways, I'm going to flip my camera up and take it off of here so you can see this picture. This one here is not animated. I'm hoping this will show up. Hold on. So give me a second, Luz, because I want to switch over.
No, that's great. I'm interested too. That's wonderful, Tammy. I'm sorry, I'm working while I'm talking to you, so then I look down.
What happened to my Google Hangouts? It like disappeared. But this was my first experience with art online. Besides, I was so fascinated, Michelle. My husband used to laugh at me because I would collect everything that moved. I was so like, how I look at lace and stuff on Patty's Dream. I was like that with animations. I just could not get enough animations online. So I started downloading everything my eyeballs could catch. I don't know what that's doing. Hold on. So there was one of them. Let me see if I can pull another one up. Here was another one. This is another Ryan Vernon. And as long as you had their permissions and you had it posted in your MSN site, you were allowed to use them and do whatever you wanted with them. But back at this point in time, This was the problem because, you know, every time you find something good, you got your idiots that's got to ruin it. At the time, people were getting jealous because some of the designers were better in some of the groups than others. So then they started being a-holes.
That's really good.
They started putting their copyright, because as long as you changed over 10% of someone else's art, you could claim it as your own before all the guild came in. So what they started doing was putting copyrights and putting their name in. These are the bad people. And they killed it for all of us, because then the artists started getting mad because I don't know if people started selling them. I don't know how deep it went. I just know they ruined it for the rest of us. And the next thing you know, all the groups were gone because they gilded everything. So I do understand the strictness of copyright laws. And here's the one I did. This is one of the ones I made. This was, we had an on top thread where the next person was the person on top that posted. And this here was all done with flowers. And this was just a girl that was cropped out. And I did the Passion Kiss. I have that font. I love the script type font like you would not believe. So I totally get it when you guys talk about script writing. And these flowers were done with a tool inside of my art program. But these were so much fun. So that one was like a practice. That was like a beginning for me. I learned how to do a lot, like to put wind in hair, and oh, there's just so many tricks. And some of them, like I told them, I didn't care if they were almost nude, but I didn't want nudes because, you know, some of them were adult sites. They could get a little raunchy. So these were made for me. I didn't do those ones. They had biker chicks. They had everything. I'm talking like there was just so much. Fairies, angels, bears. It could be anything PG to nude is all this stuff they had. And this here is the file, just to give you a hint. This file, every one of those are WinRares filled with pictures with Passion Kiss on them. Or my name. Lots and lots. Some of them are mine that's in some of these, not all of them. I only created a few, but one day I will get through and show you some of the ones I did. They were a blast. I loved creating animations. I loved it. This was a horse one that someone made. And I don't know if you can see this up here. There's this little crystal like moving. This is actually what's called noise. And you could put noise in tiny little places. You could cover an entire picture with it. And this was one of the ones that somebody made for me. I love horses. I mean, and then here was another one made with Tammy with the horses. I got tons of these, tons of them. And when it was your birthday, you would go to your little mailbox online and it would just be filled with gifts from people. And this I made for Casa. This was a picture that I put together and made as a logo for our local Casa, which is kids who are in foster care.
Yeah.
So I designed that and gave it to one of the places near us, and they have it hanging on their wall. This was a lot of fun. So I've dabbled in some stuff, but I just didn't keep up with it. Like I left it and I didn't do it anymore. And I got away from it. And Harmy told me, you need to learn HTML. And I was right at that point of learning some stuff, and when all the groups went down. But that's pretty much what we did. That's like my experience and that kind of stuff.
Well, that's really fantastic.
Thank you, Luz. I think it's all fun. I think digital's a lot of fun. People kind of get, I don't know. in the junk journal world, it's hard because some people don't want to get into the digital because they're like, those little junk journal. But I like the digital. I like both. And I'm learning to like this, doing it physically because I think it's fun. But I know a lot of people, I still think that there is a fine line between a junk journal and a craft journal. I think a craft journal is where your digital comes in because people are making stuff. Hey, Louise. And I think, like I've talked to a couple of people and they're like, well, junk journals should be junk laying around your house. It shouldn't be anything new, which they do have a point. But then creative journals are pretty too. I think when you use digital kits and you're bringing out all this kind of stuff and you're using new things that you actually have to use ink to do, it's not stuff just laying around your house. I do think that there is a fine line between a junk journal and a crafting journal because I think junk can be crafty too. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crafting journals are beautiful too. But I don't think that they should have the definition of a junk journal because they're not junk. They're very crafty and stuff that you got to go buy to make. So they need to make a new line.
Hello, Louise.
Crafting journals.
Looking for things.
Do crafting journals and do junk journals. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I see it because there's some that I just think they're so gorgeous. Like, I just don't see junk in the horseman you made, Michelle. I see art.
That's a good one, Louise. She calls some of them ladies' journals, and then they have junk journals.
Yes, because to me, it's like even though it might be vintage lace, we're still buying it. It's not laying around. It's like I can't look at Michelle's journal she made me and call that a junk journal. That to me is not junk. That is craft.
Can you hear me?
That is real good artistry.
Oh yeah, the journal you showed. Oh, that is what.
Now this here I would consider a junk journal because I had magazines laying around my house and I had paper laying around my house. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. It's like, that's a craft journal, Michelle.
Guess what?
That's true, no junk.
There's a thing outside. Raccoon. Raccoon outside.
Is it Tina?
Yes, it's me.
Tina came.
Oh, is it good?
I was wondering who this was. You like third person, like where?
My daughter. You heard my daughter speaking. You got to move it. Well, you can't. You got to turn on that light over there. You can't really see with this little desk light.
Let me go back and forth so when we talk, we'll switch.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes it any better.
Here's Tina A.
See? Say hi, ladies.
You guys get to meet Tina. She's sweet.
Finally.
And yeah, we did a one-on-one video one night when I was down at the store. She got to talk to my husband. He's like, who's on there? Nibbin.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow, there's a big delay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there is. She's all shy. We're trying to get her.
I just popped up on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God, there's a big, huge delay. Turn that other light on over there and see if that works. See if it brightens up. Over there. Go ahead. Take Max upstairs with you.
Aww.
Take Max upstairs with you.
See, it's not as hard as what you think it is, Tina. It's easy. It's easy to get up here.
Oh, Max. Stop it. That's like, I have 3 dogs, and it's like, that's my worst thing is as soon as I turn my phone on, they want to bark. This is the little one.
I never realized how heavy that box was going to be when it came in, Michelle. She said, oh my goodness, those ideals. The box was so heavy and huge.
Melissa,
Go ahead, you can take them off.
could you put a softer music? I'm on live.
What's that?
What?
What's that?
Today?
When did you get that?
Today.
Or just now?
Daddy went to the store.
Where's the
Just now?
What puppy?
Them. They hear another dog outside barking. The big one's downstairs, but
I'm surprised my dog's not coming in here running like, where's that dog at?
the medium one and the little one are barking.
I'm telling you, Michelle.
It's every time I turn my phone on.
Thing. I got a lot of them now, Michelle. I was trying to find the hardback ones, and I did find some more. And I had an order coming in at the same time, so it's like, holy crap! I got tons now. I can't say I don't have my collection.
Bye.
Well, hello.
Do you want to turn that other? See if you can turn that other light on. No, thank you. I have like a little desk lamp. I might be able to move it closer. Oh, that wasn't good.
That's what I'm using. I have a desk lamp too. This room gets too dark. Yep, I'm an official collector for sure. Here is another picture. I'll show you real quick. This is what I mean about animations being inside these. Hold on a minute. I'll show you this one. Wait till it gets up there. Okay. This is an animation, 2 animations inside of one. And when you look at this, you'll see, I would love to know how they put that girl's picture in there because it's really pretty. But they took a still picture and they made the water move. And whoever did this put the font in there and made it blink when they didn't have to do that. When you open up an animation, if they would have just put those words on each frame, that wouldn't be blinking. That would be still. But you can see the water moving. You could take a complete still picture and make it move. It was beautiful that some of these ladies could do. I did water. I did wind blowing hair. I did snow and rain. So I was able to add those elements into a completely still picture and make it animated. And that's as far as I got. There was still so much more.
No, my power didn't go out. I accidentally hit and unplugged the little light I had.
But I love that picture. I love it when they were able to do this stuff. It was really cool. Okay, I'm going to take it back off me again. We'll stick it on Tina for a little bit. You ready, Tina?
No, not me.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody wants to say hi.
No.
You're a hidden mystery, of course. I hear it, puppy.
Of course. All right, Lulu. Lulu, you're okay. All right. No, you can't get up here with me. You're too big. Good Lord. You do it.
Aw.
Lulu.
Lulu. I hear Lulu. That's a cute name, Lulu.
Yes, I have Rocket, Lulu, and Max.
I used to have a Max. I like the name Lulu.
The more I say no, the more they put it on me. Yup.
Yes, I did. I surprised Louise. It was fun surprising her. I do that once in a while. I like surprising people.
Yes, I did hear Louise. I'm so happy for you. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I sent you my duplicates. Did you get them? Oh, yes. I missed that line. That's so good. That is so nice of Kerri. I think that's wonderful.
Put one of your dogs on, Tina. I want to see one of your puppies. Thank you, Luz.
Come here, Max. Come here. Come here. Come on, Luke. You
I
want to?
love animals. Oh my goodness.
Come on, you want to come up? Come on. Let me see if I can pick you up. Come on. Oh, let's see if I can pick you up.
Oh, we got a puppy cam.
That was a wonderful surprise.
This is my medium-sized one. Here, okay, you can get down. And then this is Max. This is the little one.
Oh,
He's a Yorkie mix.
that's so cute.
What's moving on
Hi,
that?
puppy.
Because it's a delay between the computer and the what I'm looking at on the other app.
Yep, I know they always have a delay. That looks like a little Benji.
Yeah. No, what you're gonna.
She has a little Benji.
Oh, yes, Louise. Thank you very much. Yes, I did receive mine. I thought I sent you a message. I've just been trying to get these things done. And didn't realize that I didn't.
Do you see how crafty Luce is, Michelle? She surprises me too. I'm telling you. Here, we'll put it on loose now so Tina doesn't feel so self-conscious.
You know, my sister likes,
I hope you're having a good day
likes that
today.
stuff. And I found paper crafts because of my sister.
Yeah, I'm okay.
And I found journaling because of my sister trying to find things to do with her. We used to do mixed media together. Now I do my own mixed media, and we do paper crafts.
Look how
We do
cute
it once
her
in a while.
stuff is. I know. I love looking at her little creations she makes over there.
So the cats are they're gonna have the mittens, and then behind them, on the board that I'm gonna put them on for her, it's gonna have the story. It's gonna have the three little kittens and their whole story. And I figure at the end, if I can find it, I'm gonna put like a little apple pie. Because at the end, when they find their mittens, then they get to eat apple pie. I know every children's story there is. And if I don't, I will by the end of the year. I'm always looking for new ones to do. But this is nice because it's simple. It's simple.
I'll tell you another person I love watching that reminds me of you, Luce, is you and Millie. Millie,
I don't know Millie.
You have your thing and Millie has hers. I love watching Millie do crafts too.
I don't know Millie. Who's Millie and where's she from?
Oh, she's eye candy. What is her Louise?
Oh, okay.
She's on her channel a lot.
No, I met her before on your channel. That's why I say okay, because we have more. But I didn't know what I didn't know what she did. So that's wonderful. What next time she comes on, I will subscribe to her. So maybe we can do other things. There's a few other things I do.
Yeah, I can't be
stuff and
something like
different
that.
types of albums.
This is her channel. Let me put it in the room. Eye candy albums and beyond.
Eye candy
She
albums
just,
and beyond.
yes, I love watching her craft too.
That's what it had me singing. But I'm almost done. Because then I have to make more than one because then she picks which one she wants. So I usually make 2 or 3 of everything. So I'm making 2 sets.
Yeah, there she is.
What's 3 sets? But
She comes on live and she just does her thing, just random. I don't think she has a plan night, does she? Yeah, that's Millie. I found her. I don't even remember how I found her. I was surfing and she happened to be live, and I somehow just come across her channel. We had the best chat. The very first night we met.
How did I find her?
And next thing I know, she says, "Send me an email," and then she says, "I'm going to mail you a
I subbed her.
letter." And I say, "You don't have to do that. She goes, no, I want to. So we swapped pocket letters. It took us a while to get them done because she was in the middle of, I think, some kind of challenge thing. But she did. She sent me mail, and I did a video on it, and then I sent her a pocket letter back. She sent me one with cute mermaids.
That's really nice.
She's such a sweet person. Oh my goodness.
I found her through Elemental Designs. Through Carmen from Elemental Designs.
And I sit over here sometimes and I watch certain crafters. I'm like, how do they even think to do these flip pockets? Where does this come from? Like, I don't have. I was talking about this one night in this stream. I think it was with you, Luce. We were doing the private one. I said, this is me, Michelle. I'm not crafty. I just don't see myself as crafty. And I know everybody starts from scratch, but this is how I see. My dad calls me one day and he's telling me because I'm really good at looking at a terrible, ugly room or furniture and make it into something beautiful. That I have a vision for, but not some of the things I see crafters do. Like, it's not in me with paper, but I can do it with furniture. It's weird. And that's what makes everybody different too. You know, it's like one of my friends, Kim, she's always like, you're too hard. But I'm not, because I think everybody has a different vision. That's why we're all different. People are like snowflakes. We're all different. So my dad calls me and he knew I was looking for this dresser. And believe me, if I was on my phone right now, I would take and show it to you because you just wouldn't believe it. And it was sitting in the back of a Salvation Army covered in filth. Had a bunch of stuff piled on it, and all my dad said, because he knew when we moved into this house that I was looking for an extra dresser. He says, go to this Salvation Army, you'll know it when you see it, because he knows I have this vision. So I walked in the store and instantly I saw it up against the back wall, filthy as all get out. So I brought it home. And I took paper towels because it was so bad. There was no way I was even going to use a rag on this thing. I took paper towels and cleaned it. And then I took Murphy's oil soap and finished it. And I'm telling you what, Michelle, if you would see this dresser, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like, it's got the shelves coming in on each side, but it's got a spindle. And it's so old, it had a cuff link holder built into the drawer. I've never seen a dresser like this. And of course, it's mine now. And all my stuff is in it, and I absolutely love it. It's even got hidden drawers in it. So it's kind of like a junk journal, but a piece of furniture, because it's got hidden journals, and you got to know, spots in it that you got to find. It's like really cool. So a friend of mine was moving. She had this like terrible, junky looking bookshelf. And she was like, for me, baby, why don't you just, take it? And I'm like, why do I want to take it? She goes, well, I'm not going to use it. It'll probably just end up in a dump. So I brought it home, resanded it, repainted it, the most beautiful blue paint you've ever seen. It's still sitting in my bedroom to this day. That's my visions. But to look at paper, like, I love paper, but I can't see the visions. Like, I'll be watching something so simple. Just for instance, last night, I was flipping through videos because I couldn't sleep. I come across this one. I typed in paper crafts, and Nick the Booksmith popped up. And I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but you could see her face. She was sitting at the desk, and she was explaining 2 simple ways to make like paper just with book pages. And she took and put the 2 pages together and like turned it kind of like into a tea bag. It was the cutest thing I ever seen. And she dumped scents inside both sides, and she actually turned it into like a tea bag tag. And I'm thinking, when I see paper, I just don't have that type of vision. I don't see those kinds of things. So it's like when I watch somebody do something like, it's such a simple thing, but yet it turned out so beautiful. I was like, wow, because my mind would never do that with a piece of paper. So it's really hard when you're in watching somebody do this kind of stuff and you don't have that vision. You feel like an amateur. And I know we all start from scratch, but some people just have the gift. Hey, Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Because I know, like, even Patty, watching what she just did with those paint pictures. Oh, my gosh. I would have never thought to do that with painting.
No, that was
I
brilliant.
love painting.
That was brilliant.
But I would have never thought to do that. And I actually have an oil painter that was an artist in my family. And gosh, I wish I could get a hold of some of his paintings to show everybody, because he did one of my grandmother when she was younger. Yes, Tina A is the hidden one. We have Tina A in one. We have Luce in the other. Luce is up right now. You look
Patty,
at
look at
those.
my cats. I'm making the 3 little kittens. I'm making a couple of sets, and with they lost their mittens, and I'm taking some of the storybooks and putting the story behind it for my sister, which is always my inspiration. And here's they hand painted. And I moved my camera today, so I really don't know where it's at. While I was talking with my other sister on the phone. But these are the cats.
Aren't they cute? She's so talented. I love watching Luce create stuff
It's
too.
the cat. And this is Rainbow Bright. And I'm going to make the sprite. She's not finished. She doesn't have a face. And here's her little hair and her bow in her hair. She has her stars and so forth. And then the cats are going to have kittens and the story behind it. And Rainbow Bright is going to have the sprites, the little furry people. And I'm going to use some, what is that called? Wall covering samples, some fuzzy ones to make the brights. So they can be fuzzy like a little animal.
I have a question for you, Patty. Have you ever heard of glass wax stencils out in the antique world? That's me. I do furnitures. Here, let me turn it on me for a second. I'll show Patty what I'm talking about. I had a box of goodies come into my store one day. And this came out of the box. And I was like, well, I wonder what this is. This is 59 cents. It has glass wax Christmas stencils. And then I pulled it out and I was like, whoa, how cool is this? Never heard of glass wax. But this, they have this was the stencils inside of it. Is that like not cool? I can have so much fun with these. But I never heard of them. There must have been someone that was a crafter that the one guy that brings me stuff, like there's like magazines cut out and put in, and this is what it came out of this. I never heard of them. When you use stuff like this though, like say you're using like a sprayer stuff, does this like clean off or do these stain? See, that's like the stencils that you get from the Dollar Tree. The only thing I don't like about them is they're more for like a do-it-yourself project. They're sticky on one side. Like you got to take a film off to get to the stencil part. And they stick like in the bottom of your box. But I would hate to do that on paper because I think it would rip it. So those stencils from the Dollar Tree I don't use because of that reason. Well, cool.
I have some, but I have never tried. So I don't know if they stick or not. I made some homemade stencils and I used them when I was making mixed media. And I drew pictures with my glue gun and I made my own stencils. And then when I let it dry, I did it again on top so it could be a little thicker. And it worked out well.
Sorry, Liz. Thanks, Patty, for letting me know because I haven't used them yet. I've always drawn freehand. Like I never used stencils, but I've been thinking about doing some stencils for some stuff. So, but I had never heard of these. I'm like so behind in the crafting world. Sometimes if I think that if I would have stayed in Girl Scouts and kept on going, that I would have kept up with crafts, but I kind of got away from it because my life just took a different turn for a while because we had to earn badges for everything. And I think the things I learned to do was crochet. I learned to do embroidery with the wooden hoops. We had the hoop things. We had to earn a badge for everything we learned how to do, but it was years ago. I got away from it all, and I wish now I would have stuck with it. Oh, I know. But I mean, I just think that when you go from a brownie to a Girl Scout, you kind of carry some of this stuff with you. And, some of it, but it's like you kind of get some basics, but I just think I got away from a lot of it. I remember melting marbles and things like, do you remember doing all that stuff? We had the little marble things that we used to do in the oven. And then we had kind of like that glass plastic. What the heck was it called? Shrinky Dink or something like that. I don't know. It's been so long since we did these things, but they were like plastic and they almost remind you what's in a church window. And then you would put it in the oven and bake it. We used to do
Shrinky Dinks, yeah.
But it's been a long time since I thought about that stuff until I got back into crafting. We'll stick it on Tina so you can see what Tina's doing.
No.
I'm trying to share. Yeah, Shrinky Dink.
I don't think you can stick it on me.
Shrinky Dink.
Only going back to you and Luz. Or no,
Yeah,
it's
we'll
on
put
you.
it on
There
you.
it
What
is.
are you making over
There
there?
I am. Oh. I'm just making a collage page. Nothing too interesting.
But that is cool. Collage is fun. And two, we took shop class, and that was another thing. When I first learned how to decoupage, we did not have Mod Podge. we used something else, kind of like a varnish of some sort. I can't remember what we used. That's the stuff I kind of wish I did remember. It's fun hanging out. Me and Luz did a private live on her channel one night, and then we sat and talked, and we were crafting together, and it was fun. And then we decided to try to start doing it a little more. And Tina, I've been trying to get her up here for a month. I'm so happy she's up here.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So who in here likes makeup?
Likes what?
Makeup. I actually took and I made this pocket letter. I never sent it out or nothing, but look how cute this is. I took this pocket letter and I made this from my Sephora and Ulta book. I was playing around and I started cutting. And I had like real shiny cardstock. So I took and I made.
Turn it on you.
This here's like false eyelashes. It is. It's just at a delay. And I cut out perfume bottles and makeup brushes and I turned it into a pocket letter. Hey, Jennifer Jane. Sorry, I like everybody being my favorite color, so you're all going to be blue.
Hi, Jennifer.
Isn't that funny? This is what I did one day in my store when I didn't have nothing to do. Which very rarely happens, but
This light.
I had fun playing with my Alta and Sephora. Or this came out of an Alta book. No, this was an Alta magazine, not Sephora. Alta. But it was fun.
Did you work
Usually I
at
don't like custom pattern. This was cute.
Tammy?
Huh?
Did you work at Sephora?
No. Uh-oh. Look at Patty. She being rotten. Just as long as it's creative, Patty. You should have seen when we used to play pranks on each other on Yahoo, because over there you could make a bunch of different IDs. And we used to make Christmas and Halloween IDs and just come in and pick on each other. Nobody knew who each other was. We took a whole entire chat room and we all changed screen names. You want to talk about fun. But I am going to share one story because I don't want you guys to get bored. This is one of my favorite stories of all time off of Yahoo. It was really hard to get the guys to get to know each other, to joke around. Like us women were more relaxed. And I remember one time there was a guy named John from Texas and my friend James from Tennessee.
Hi, Jennifer.
And James knew that John had a crush on women who were Asian. That's the type of women he liked in chat, that he liked to flirt with. So James came in a female ID and pretended he was a girl from Asia and was talking to John. Patty, if you guys were only there, it was the funniest conversation because the whole time I knew it was James, but nobody else in the chat room knew. He was messaging me in private going, "Watch what I do to John." And he had his cam on. And every time John tried to see it, he would block him. And he said, "You're going, I don't understand why it's not working. It must be Yahoo." And it wasn't Yahoo. He wasn't going to let him see him because he didn't know, he wanted to know he was a guy. He had him going for 2 hours thinking he was talking to some cute Asian chick. And it was him the whole time. I was over here laughing my butt off because finally John pushed me to the point where James got up on the microphone and he said, "John, would you please stop continuously trying to hit on my cam?" And when he heard his voice, he's like, "Oh my God, you're a guy." What's the kind of stuff we used to do? Oh my gosh, I was dying. I was laughing so hard I was in tears. John says, "Wait, one of these days I'm going to get you back." This is the kind of stuff we used to do. And oh my God, they were great to hang out with. So when you guys see me get silly in the live stream, that's where that comes from. Because we all had great personalities in that room and we used to do stuff all the time. I've watched Catfish Michelle. Oh my God, that show is so awful sometimes. Sometimes it's so hysterical. But it was a blast. I mean, we used to have so much fun. You would not believe. Even they played Truth or Dare. And they dared this one guy from Australia to go pick up a guy in the gay chat room and bring him back to the chat room. And it was so funny because he had the sexiest voice you ever heard online. And I remember all of us going into the room and hearing this conversation, and we were rolling. And I said, "I don't know about guys, but he sure could pick up some females with that voice." But oh my goodness.
Okay, Michelle.
Huh?
Oh, Michelle said, "Be right back." And I said, "Okay, Michelle, I'm sorry."
Okay, that's okay. Hurry back, Scotty. But those were the good days. Those were the days that I was all broken before YouTube. I had so much fun on Yahoo, and then coming to YouTube, it was just like getting to know people all over again. But oh my gosh, so many stories. I could read a book. That's why I talk about Yahoo so much, because that was my online experience first. It was great. We made great friends. I still have a bunch of them on my regular Facebook. We just don't get together like we used to. It all changed when chat went away. And they didn't come to YouTube, unfortunately. I'm going to put this down. I love this journal. I should show my journal collection. I just don't think I can bring my whole bookshelf in here. I actually buy more than I create. See, this is the kind of stuff I wonder how they do it. They took a library card and put flowers on it. That's definitely not a stamp. It almost looks like it was on the paper, and I don't know. I don't know how this is done.
So who do you watch when you go on YouTube? Okay.
I watch tons of people.
I watch Rhonda Winstead. I watch Amity Bloom. I watch Gail Agostini. I watch Laurel. I go back to watching. I'm going to watch Michelle Moore. I've been looking at Maggie White. It's just everybody has different techniques and different styles. And sometimes it gives me ideas. That's why I asked you.
I have a friend that I made through a different group that is kind of like starting to mentor me a little bit. We haven't got started totally yet because I told her I wanted to wait until after I get through this medical crap. But as soon as I do, she actually mailed me a Happy Mail filled with stuff and one of her very, very old, it's kind of like a wooden roll. She's going to teach me how to make snippet rolls because that's one of the things I want to learn how to do.
Oh, that's great.
So she's in like a Facebook group where they have people that do mentor classes. If you want to mentor, you can sign up to mentor people or be a person that needs it. So I'm hoping that's who I'll be working with on many things. But we'll see. I mean, I want to go slow. I don't want to learn too much too fast.
At your own pace is what I think is best. You know.
Well, my problem is this. Like my art program, for instance, I hadn't opened it for probably 5 years. And when I finally did again, like when I first opened the program itself, I didn't have a book that came with it. So I learned by pushing buttons and learning on my own. I couldn't even do a tutorial because I didn't know what the tutorial meant. So finally, after time went by and I kept remembering like the tools and stuff as I would hold my cursor over it, I learned how to do the tutorials. I started pulling them aside and learning them. But my problem is I'm getting to an age now that I forget things if I get out of practice with it. Like God, I hope to God I never go into dementia. I know my grandmother did, but that would be awful. But I have to keep with it. It's like algebra. You know, if you don't do it every day, you just forget. And I have to brush up on stuff all the time. I don't have a fast retention like some people do. So I took in, when I told her I wanted to work with her, I just want to go slow and try to retain what I'm learning. Like crochet, I never forgot because I only know 2 stitches. Well, 3 stitches. But I never really got into it.
YouTube taught me how to crochet.
Huh?
YouTube taught me how to crochet.
Well, how do you make snippet rolls?
Because I'm a lesson.
One day.
And when I learned how to crochet, I have to be sitting like Indian style across from a right-hander to learn because it's all backwards to me on YouTube. I have to have
Right.
a left-hander or.
Right.
And when I used to work as an airbrush painter, you know, all those light up Santa Clauses and stuff like that. I used to be an airbrush painter for a factory. I've always done online jobs. Like I have always been an assembly line person in most of the jobs I had. And I had to think,
Listen, Grandma. I'm reading your chat as you talk. That's why I'm saying hello to whoever comes in.
hey, thrifting. And when the left-hand people came in, I had to train every single left-hand painter that came into our plant. It was awful because it was a really long day. I'd rather be working and keep going because the day goes faster than to stand around and do nothing. God, when Patty comes on her channel and says, I don't like being idle, I totally get it because it was horrible. I could cry at the end of the days when I didn't feel like, doing that. It's awful when you have to stand around teaching somebody to do something that's terrible. Felt like it was the longest day of my life. How are you doing, thrifting grandma? I like keeping busy. I can't stand being idle. I hear you, Patty. I hear ya.
That sounds good, Patty. Pull out that machine.
She wants to teach me how to do a snipper roll with glue, which I want to learn how to do a snipper roll sewing, hand sewing. I like to hand sew, but I'm willing
So
to
that
learn
shouldn't be that hard.
too. So I'm gonna learn both ways.
Well, I have 3 sewing machines right now, and one is in the box. I haven't taken it out yet. One is old and needs to be put in the shop. It's a furniture piece, and it just needs to be put in the shop. There's something going on with it. It doesn't want to do what it has to do. And then I have a toy one, which works. But then you have to hand sew the edges closed because it doesn't let you reverse to tighten any of these.
I want to know how eyelash trim was made. I've looked up videos on this stuff, and it's called under different names. It's not called eyelash trim in other places. And at first, when I first saw eyelash trim, I'm like, is that like a thread that somebody like thinned out? Like it has to be some way to do this to make it. Because it's definitely not yarn.
Well, I'm going to use some eyelash trim to make the hair for the strawberry shortcake. I got the perfect color. And on one of the strawberry shortcakes, the more modern one, the one from the 80s, has longer hair, or the 2000s or whatever it is, 90s or 2000s, I don't know. But the earlier one, she has short hair. So I was going to use the eyelash trim as her hair.
Well, I like when people sew into their stuff, but I don't own a sewing machine. And I doubt I will ever buy a sewing machine, but I do like to
switch back between.
I get that, Patty, because it drives me a little crazy too. But I was noticing that it curls. So for the strawberry shortcake, she needs curly hair, and I know I can use yarn, but to curl it. And I was also thinking, and this is why I'm saying it. The what are they called? The tassels. That they have that fabric.
No. I like when Michelle pets her journals. Her journals
Make good hair.
And she's got all these little strings and dangles hanging off her.
I'm gonna try it. When I make them, I'm gonna post them, Patty. Because I'm not up to the strawberry shortcake yet, because in between the cats and this, I already finished the Holly Hobby all the ones I was going to make. They're sitting in a box. But I also have the bears. And I do them by piece.
Patty. Yeah, it would be soft doll hair. It would be. I think eyelash trim would definitely be better than troll hair. It's soft. Like eyelash trim is so soft. Tammy's talking now, and then there's Luce and there's Tina A. Well, hey, Judy. Tina, your collaging looks really pretty. You're doing a great job over there. Look at her. She's got a bingo card in there.
Well, see, I brought, where's it at? This stamp. And it looks like it's stitches from a sewing machine. I don't have a sewing machine, so I figured I was just going to stamp around it. So.
That's pretty, though. She's doing a good
That's a great
job.
idea.
Yeah.
I have a stamp like that, but I didn't like the stamp, so what I did was I used the pen to make the same stitches. I like that better.
Yeah, I think where Michelle was talking about that, where you don't always have to use a sewing machine, but you can use a pen to do it. That's cool.
Yeah, you can use a pen, a marker, or I have a stamp.
I'm not too good with stamps.
We'll put it back on loose for a while. I'm switching out here.
Well, actually, nobody sees me, just the dolls that I will put on that side and my messy desk. But I've been sitting here since Michelle was on this afternoon, working on these dolls that I'm doing.
I like everybody being my favorite color, except trolls. But I know who the trolls are. I'll know when they come in. So far, everybody that's come in is good people, so I'm happy.
Oh,
Sorry,
good.
go ahead, Liz. Terry! Terry is one of my Yahoo friends that you guys know. Terry, I've known from Yahoo. He's put up with me for years online. So if you want to know all my bad stuff, he probably knows. Gosh, I can't even remember what year we met, Terry. Long time. Go ahead, Liz. Talk what you're doing. Go for it. Jibber jab. You're loud. It's on you.
Okay, it's on me.
Yeah.
You can take it back. I'm just working on the dolls.
That's
it's like
fine.
to look down in order to
good.
get them done. And to be on schedule to get done what I need to get out this week, I have to finish these dogs and the bears. Isn't that horrible? I kind of.
You're funny. He's got a zipper on his mouth. You know that you can be broad, Terry.
Okay, so this is done. This is done.
Those are cute, Luce. I love your cats.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying to get them done.
You're quite
I thought that I had some little red mittens, but I don't. So I'm gonna have to make some little red mittens. So, well, not little red mittens, whatever color matches. I guess I can do blue, green, and red because that's kind of reddish, and then orange, purple, and yellow. Oh no, that'll be orange. Okay. What color would you match with this? The orange? But then the orange would go with this, right?
Aww.
I can do yellow because it has yellow. It's kind of an odd way to match it.
These are so
because the
cute.
green will match this one because the face has more green.
Is the balloons on that one, is that material?
Yeah, this is fabric. This is paint
Oh, but
on,
it's
on a piece of
cute.
fabric. And underneath it's a piece of quilted fabric because I had no polyester batting. I had cotton batting, but polyester batting is stiffer. So I put just a piece of batting so it can be a little stuffed. It won't be totally flat. See? And then
Michelle put orange and black in the room, Luce.
excuse me?
Michelle put orange and black.
Orange and black? Okay.
Cute.
Oh, yeah, I can do black. Very good. Thank you. And then the sheet, which will have the story itself on, or the little poem, as you call it, will be cream colored, and then all the writing, I believe, is in green. So it'll stand out a lot. And the gloves will match them. And we're gonna do the same packaging as the last ones. And this is, even though I gotta put the support on her back so she don't fall apart.
Is that glasses in the front of that, or is its eyes closed?
No, she has no eyes.
Oh
yet.
no, it's below.
didn't do
I'm looking at the whiskers where the mouth is. He's got his mouth open like, oh.
Oh, here.
I was looking at the cat with the purple ears. I'm on delay over here.
Yeah, I gotta do the inking around them and finish
Oh,
them
your
off
doll is
with the
cute. What's
back.
her hair made of?
Excuse me?
What's her
Oh.
hair made of?
Her hair is made of yellow wool thread because that's all I had. But then I didn't have enough to do all 3 dolls, and I'm supposed to be making 3 sets. I try to make everything in 3s. This is all I had enough of. So I got this, which is embroidery thread, and I might mix it in with this. So she's going to be a little colorful, the next rainbow bright. And I have these little I'm going to put them in here. Just give me 1 minute, Tammy. I moved to grab the tablet.
Oh, you're fine. I'm going to go grab one of the blankets I crocheted too. I'll show you the stitches I know.
Oh, this
There's
color.
only a few.
Which color? For the next doll. Because I have no more wool thread. So I figured either this color, I'm going to take apart a tassel and use it because I did it in pieces. Here's the bottom piece, and then here's the head. And with the hair, I can use the thread. And use the gold.
That's cute.
So that's what I'm going to use for the next one. She's not going to have exactly yellow hair because I don't have any more yellow. And I'll mix it in with this and this. Because there's 2 more dolls I have to finish in between. See? And here's my doll. And then she becomes like this. And last, thank you, Jennifer. I'm glad. And I'm glad it finally got there. International's a bit scary.
Yeah, because once it leaves U.S. waters, they can't track it.
Yeah.
So it's like you just pray it gets there.
Exactly.
At least our post office, they don't sell a tracking number for overseas.
And for the brights, I'm going to recycle this. Obviously, I know a designer, and I took some of their samples, and it's going to be nice and soft to touch to the skin. I figured 1 white, 1 blue, maybe 1 orange. I like this color. It's not exactly the color of a cartoon, though. This goes a little closer. Here's the blue. I think the blue is so pretty. And they each have their own feel, so that the brights will be, and of course they're going to have the rainbow feet like Rainbow Bright.
Rainbow Bright was so pretty. I had the Rainbow Bright dog.
And then I'll see
I had
if I have gold or yellow or something. If not, it's supposed to be 4, but I'm gonna try to do each star with at least 2 sprites. One is gonna be white, and I know they're not all called sprites, and they all have all their names. But
I need to learn to do doilies. I want to make doilies.
I watch cartoons from the morning till the afternoon, and then
This is what I learned how to do crocheting. I learned 1 stitch, which is the single stitch. This here, I can't tell you what the name of it is that's on the ridges. That's just something I made up playing with that with my yarn. I do this on my outline.
wow.
I have no clue. I don't know the names of stitches. I just play around with them, and I come up with a pinwheel one time.
I'm
It looked like a pinwheel to me. I was trying to make a heart off of a YouTube video, and it turned into a freaking pinwheel. So I just named it pinwheel. But anyways, it's just like the single stitch. And then this here, I just do this around as a border. My grandmother used to make doilies. Gosh, I wished I would have learned from her. My mother still has her the thing she made doilies with. They're like, they kind of look like crochet hooks, but they're wee tinier. So this is one of the baby blankets I made. It's just one for a wee little newborn. And about everybody in my family's got one of my blankets.
That's fabulous.
And I don't like, I tend to not like the I don't like when you have a crochet thing and it's got big gaps in it, because it lets the air in. Like, I tend to really like stitches that are closer together so that you have more warmth from the blanket. And one of my twin granddaughters, she loves taking her fingers across the stitches and feeling it. Like I made her one, she carries it with her everywhere. And my other granddaughter, she didn't take to it. Her favorite's just a fuzzy blanket. She doesn't like the crocheted blanket. So it all depends on the child too.
Yes.
And the biggest one I made was granny squares, and it's the first time I had ever done one for Christmas. It was 70 squares, and I think I had to double it. I don't know. I'll have to go back and count it. But my one grandson wanted a big one for his bed in Buckeye colors. Scotty, his dad's from Ohio, so I made him a Buckeye one. It was done in gray, outlined in red, each granny square. And then the whole blanket, when it was done, I outlined it in black. So it had gray, red, and black for the Buckeyes. And then I put patches on the granny squares of Buckeyes that I had collected off of eBay. I had gotten patches. Now, I did watch a video where you can't iron patches on crochet and yarn because it will melt the yarn down or flatten it. So I took and used Fabrifix glue, which is basically made from the same company as Fabri-Tac. And I glued the patches on the granny squares, and it covers his whole bed. He loved it because it was all handmade. The only thing I didn't like was when you flipped it over, the granny squares have that, where you can see where you put it together, because I had to sew them together. Is I kind of wish there was a way to find like a light sheet. I always thought it would be really cool to have a light sheet on the other side, but I don't know. Sometimes I think it's hard to sew onto yarn because, things like that, especially that big of a blanket, it's so heavy, it weighs the yarn down. That's the only reason why, because my husband was trying to say that too. He says, you should put a sheet on it. I said, I don't think it'll work because these are too easy to pull the stitches. But I do make mine knotted enough to where you can wash these blankets over and over again and they don't fall apart. My daughter's washed hers at least 30 times and none of the stitches have come apart on the baby blankets, because when I knot them, I do like a triple knot. And mine shows because I don't hide my knots in my blankets. I don't care if they show because I know it'll hold. But like here's one right here where you can see it perking up. I don't just loop it and pull because those can come loose. I literally tie these 3 times to hold. So you can wash these and they're not going to fall apart. Yes, blue. Yes, Michelle. This one's blue. I actually had these in many colors. I've had Christmas, green, and reds. I've had purples. I've made way different colors, but they're all gone because babies tend to pop up a lot here. So I end up making baby blankets like crazy for people. I've made yellow ones. I made a rainbow one. All kinds of goodies.
So can you follow directions?
No, I don't follow directions when I open
No,
up.
like from a book.
No, because I
No?
don't know the names. Like I would have to literally sit down. Hey, Laurel. I would literally have to sit down and study what each stitch was called. Like as I was being taught embroidery, they told us what the stitches were as we did them. You know, like a French knot and you know, so I knew what the stitches were doing it, but for me to go, it'd be like backwards. Like I would have to really study like a magazine to learn the stitches as I go to do them. I probably could because I think I do have some downstairs, but I think they're for knitting and I don't knit.
Well, remember you had some magazines?
Yeah.
And when I ordered, and in the paper pack came a magazine. And okay, since my sewing machine wasn't working and my new sewing machine hadn't come yet, I explained it's still in the box. I took that magazine and it had a pattern in it I liked. So I traced over the pattern and I took my fabric and I cut the squares out and I collaged it onto my paper. And it came out beautiful. So I was thinking that maybe you can do something like that with your granny squares. And you know how in some people's quilts, I don't quilt, so I don't know for sure. But I try a whole lot of things, and if it don't work out, what I do is I take it apart and I reuse it for something else. I recycle. I
have
a lot.
done that in the junk journal. I have literally made a granny square as a pocket.
And then you can try putting the sheet on and hand stitching it. Because you know how
I did just a granny square and then did the outline of this, and I had bought cameos and I stuck the cameo to the center of the pocket, and I literally turned a granny square into a junk journal pocket, and it was really cute how it turned out.
Okay.
But you have to glue it on with like a hot glue gun to hold. You know what I mean? Because you don't want it to be too heavy. But I've done that. But yeah, I mean, if I had the time, I could sit down with the magazines you were talking about and learn more steps. But I don't knit. I've never learned to knit, Patty. My sister knitted. I learned to crochet. But I never did learn to knit.
Yeah.
My sister does it. There's this one lady that knits that I know, and she makes it look so easy. She makes the cutest little baby blankets, but I just never learned to do it. Who's up here with me, Laurel? Luz and Tina. We'll put it on Tina for a little bit. She's over there decoupaging.
Okay, I made a mess, and I lost my last cat. And now it's not going to match. One.
That's pretty, Tina. You're doing a great job. Look at her over there.
No, my cats are finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
First, I'm going to learn how to make a snippet roll. Then I'm going to try to learn how to make a doily. That's going to be interesting.
Or we can convince Patty to make us some.
No, I'm going to learn how to make my own too. Patty. Your knitting looks like nodding. Everybody turns blue in here. People I know who will be good or turn blue. If not, I'll stick your butt in jail. I'll put you in YouTube jail. Hey, I forgot to show Michelle this. I'll do this real quick and then I'm gonna flip it back. I have to do this just one time because you know I am so not a pink person. So this is for you, Michelle. This is all the dyed paper that I have left, and it's all pink because I don't use pink. But I dyed it anyways. So here's your pink. Here is your pink flip through for the evening. There is a lot of pink pages right here. Lots. I had like a bunch of bundles in my Etsy store and they sold. And I had a bunch of different colors and then I ended up with pink. All these pink papers left over. Patty, did you see what I did when I was playing with my last coffee dyed book? I had some accidents come out. These were not planned. I had two pieces of paper on top of each other when I stuck them in the oven and didn't realize it. Okay, it was an accident because usually I set my papers out separately before I bake them. Well, I had a pair of gloves on and I dipped my fingers back into my coffee and I was just dabbing the pieces of paper. Well, it caused the paper over top to have like these little ripples and it made spots on my paper. I've never had spots come out before. Let me show her if I can find it. So it was a total accident, but it was fun. I like playing with coffee dyed paper. I've never tea dyed yet though. Look at all this. She likes grubbiness. And she likes the scrumptiness. Look at that. Ooh. All these outline spots. The only thing that I hate though is that I don't have a laser printer, which really sucks because I can't print anything on these. It won't come off on my printer. And I can't print them before I dye them because then when it bakes, it disappears. So I have all these wonderful coffee dyed papers. I added different, instead of just adding vanilla, I was playing with spices too. So I was going through my spice rack and just putting a dab of this and a dab of that. These smell so good. And of course, dummy me not thinking. I'm like, I don't want to cut off these edges because I don't want to cut off the dark. I never thought about cutting the pages before I dyed them.
That's what I did too. I dry my pages back to peel them off as they dry like that. I'm sorry, I'm reading out loud.
That's all right. Some things I just never think of before I do them, Liz. I don't know why. It's just, it could be something so simple right in front of my face and I don't think of it.
That's because you're busy from the time you wake up in the morning.
There's Millie. I was talking about you, woman. Was your ears burning? She's probably thinking, oh, crap. What's that girl saying about me now? She's so much fun to watch. If you can catch an eye candy doing her thing, you guys got to watch one of her videos at least. I'm telling you, Millie is so talented. She's another one. I could watch her craft forever.
When Louise put in her information, I subbed her. So this way I can get to see her.
Yay! Yes, I love watching Millie craft. Millie. She's like, yep. She's making my ears burn. I know I need to get over and watch the Wells channels too. I hear she's fun to binge watch with her crafting too.
Yeah, I need to watch her more.
If I tried to watch everybody in one day that I want to see, I would never make it. Especially when we have like 2-hour videos a piece. It's hard. I like watching Nick the Booksmith. I love watching the Rebookery. Gail, I've heard a lot about her. Gail, is how you say her name, Gastinelli or something like that. I've heard a lot about her, but I've only watched a couple of her videos. I like watching that Michelle Scott go at it too.
Oh, I love
She's that girl that gets into everything. She
come on in
some markers and takes them apart.
She had a stream today, and she said she was on for 3 hours, and I swear to you, I went on when she went on, and it was like she was on for 10 minutes. It was way too fast. Way too fast. She said she was on for 3 minutes. It didn't, but for 3 hours, it didn't feel that way. I was
We
seeing
got Tina A up here. You see Tina A? She's up here crafting right now.
Yes, I am. I'm stamping.
She's our
Stamping
shy girl that I finally got
stitches.
to get I finally got to get her on the panel, guys. This took me a month at least to get her up here. It's like, Tina, you ready yet? No. Tina, you ready yet? No. I had to pull teeth to get her up here.
that's how you have to come on much more, Michelle. You're doing an injustice to all your fans. Ain't that horrible? But I mean it in the best way.
Yeah, and I missed
you
it,
have to
darn
come
it.
on
I'm gonna
much
have to go
more,
back and
much
watch
more.
it. I'm glad you told me, Luz. Thanks. Because I didn't even know she was on today. I'll have to catch her. I'll have to go back and catch up. I like being there when it's happening, though. But I couldn't go back and watch.
Well, not exactly. I want to apply the pressure. You know how sometimes when you want what you want, horrible. But it was cool, Michelle. I haven't had fun like that in a long time, but I was enjoying the stream and getting done the things I needed to get done. It was great. Usually, and this is not meant in a bad way because I like sales. There's a lot of sales, and there's not that many good people on anymore. I haven't found any, except the same ones I watch. And then when the good people are on, that's when I'm not free. So it worked out very well for me today. Just saying.
Excuse me. The next, I know that's what I'm afraid of. I told my husband pretty soon I'm going to wait till after all my medical stuff's done, but there's a place down here hiring part-time. I'm going back to work 7 days a week. I have to. We're just too far behind. See, we lived in a house and we were flipping it and it looked really awesome. Like I redid all the cabinetry in the kitchen. It took me weeks to get that cabinetry redone. But we flipped our last house and then we rented it.
Patty.
And we moved into this house. And the bad thing about it was my renter plugged in her toaster and went into the bathroom and a faulty wire caught the house on fire and it burned to the ground. So we lost our rental property. And my husband, when we moved in here, he didn't factor in when his overtime would be cut out. Well, when we lost his overtime, then we started hurting. So now I need to do something. Because we don't know what his mill is going to do yet. They still haven't decided what they're going to do. He says right now it's still slow. They're hanging in there. Yeah, it was. I just thank God the Reldy got out. She was hyperventilating and took it worse than I did because my renter lost everything. She didn't have renter's insurance. And I took the day off and went to the house because the whole 2 floors were totally burnt. They were gone. So I saved what I could in the basement and I got 2 garbage bags of her kids' clothes out of the basement. She was an EMT that I rented the house to. And she had like 5 kids. And I took all that I could save and got it out of the house. And I spent the whole day putting Era and vinegar, white vinegar, running it through the clothes to get the smell of smoke out of them. And then she got her stuff. I mean, I didn't have a problem with my rudder. We got along great, but it was just awful what happened. And I said, I would have died if one of your kids would have died in this house. And she said, the weird thing about the whole thing was her one daughter had just said, I need to go upstairs and get a blanket. And she goes, no, you don't need to go upstairs. And I thank God she told her daughter that, because if she'd have been upstairs, she'd have never got out, because when the fire took off, that's exactly where it went. It went up the staircase. It took out the top of the house first. So, you know, but it is what it is. We have a low insurance policy on it. Not we didn't get like rich off of it, but we got enough to get everything cleaned up and stuff, because they passed a law here in West Virginia that if your house burns or you have a property that's vacated and the house is just sitting there depreciating, if you don't get somebody in there, you know, like I'm talking like a house with windows busted out and stuff, if you don't take care of it, the fire department can keep 20% or 10% of your fire insurance from coming to you until you get it cleaned up. So that's what we did. We got everything cleaned up as fast as we could and got it out of there. My advice to people, if you have fire insurance on your house, read the cleanup detail, because my husband only had $2,600 on it, and it's $8,000 just to clean it up. So that $2,600 didn't cover much. So, you know, always read the fine print when you get fire insurance on your house. That's for sure. So he did, when we got this house, he did better. Hopefully, I hope to God we never go through that again. It was awful. There was 3 fire departments there trying to put the fire out. It was bad. But she goes, I come out of the bathroom and the smoke was to my knees and I panicked. All I did was tell my kids to get out of the house. She goes, I didn't even think. She says, she was trying to put it out with a blanket. She didn't even think about the fire extinguisher. And I'm like, it's okay. It's just a house. I would rather see you people alive than the house. And then when I called the fire insurance, we had pictures before and after, because we flipped it, the whole entire house. And he kept saying, well, you know, your renter's going to sue you. And I said, why are you causing drama before it even happens? I hate when people do that. I said, don't be putting bad seeds in my head, because me and her get along fine. And she has 5 kids. I doubt she's going to be able to afford a lawyer to even try this. And she didn't.
I'm just putting my little dolly together. See, Michelle? That's all I'm doing. No laughing here.
But I mean, she didn't do anything bad. And we got everything cleaned up and it all looks nice now. We still own the property.
It's my little dolly.
But we were just lucky recently because they tapped into that property for mineral rights. And we just got $1,000 check. So we were pretty tickled, which I ended up spending in Patty's stream. But I mean, it's fun. It gave me extra money to play with, so I'm not complaining. So I told my husband, I said, every time we get extra money, you know where it's going. He goes, I'm grounding you from Patty's stream. I said, would you rather me have another addiction? I could be in a bar. I said, I would rather have a Patty spending addiction than a drug addiction. I'll take the crack addiction any day. So he shut up after I said that, Patty. So I'm taking that as permission to shot more. Oh, that's too funny. Who has their coffee out? Okay. Yep. There you go. That's true, Michelle. We'll put it back on loose now for a bit.
You can't see me. You can't see anything. I have nothing new on.
Ah!
She had a beautiful something there, and now I don't see it anymore.
She moved it. Tina moved it. Now it's back to you.
I know, but you got to show it to us. Tina, we want to see. I showed you my little dollies. I'm good for making dollies.
Well, I don't know. The light is not gonna pick up the camera.
Did you see that, Patty?
I have to remove the light.
Next, it'll be girls' vacation to go stay with Patty. That's what we need, Michelle. I'll tell my husband the next bill is going to be saving up for a Patty vacation. And our next hangover movie, it'll be called the Langette Hangover movie. That would be funny. I've never been to Vegas. Oh, geez.
Or we could do a craft class.
I'll have to empty my credit card again so I have bail money.
Patty, you can do a live craft class.
Did she have cute kittens, Millie?
I sub to you, Millie. Tammy told me all about you. I make these little dolls and a lot of children's stuff for my sister.
Yep, I told her how naughty you are, Millie. Says that Millie, she's just a naughty lady. You got to go watch her.
Yeah, Michelle, you too. You and Patty can have one of those road trips like Brooke from Recreations by Brooke. And then we can all go to the craft class. We don't have to buy online that week. We'll have a week where we're not going online, no sale.
No,
we'll
Patty does Patty. Patty don't need to be like anybody else. Patty can do Patty. I like Patty because she's original.
Oh, I love Patty's sales. They're the best. But it would be, she also does amazing stuff. It would be amazing.
I know she does. I know. I love it.
It will be amazing
She
to learn.
does her own thing, but Patty's Patty.
No,
I like when I watch Patty because she has her complete own aesthetic, her own style. Even when she picks her own style. Like she really knows how to tap into what people love, and she goes and she finds it.
That's true. But a craft class taught by Patty would be amazing.
She puts a lot of people ahead of herself. You can just tell by the way she is. And she'd have to after having 7 kids.
It would be like an invasion.
That woman had to give up a lot.
At least a week, maybe 2 weeks long, so that everybody who want to go can go at least one.
I know what it's like. I know what it's like raising 2 kids and putting yourself out there. God, I don't know how she did it with 7. I'd be drained. You're welcome, Patty, because it's the truth. That's what keeps me coming back to your channel for sure, because you can just tell, especially once you've been in Yahoo for as many years as I've been, and a person that can sit back and actually listen and take in certain qualities about people, is you can just tell. And I know that when Patty puts her all into it, she has her heart into it. And that's what kept coming me back to her channel. She might seem like she's all business when you first watch her, the beginnings of the channel. Of course, there was no Scotty, which was awful. No, but Patty, you do good on your own too. She's just, listening to her, you can just tell. She really wants what's best for the people and help other crafters. She tries to give us the best deals. You can just tell in everything she does. That's what I was showing Millie earlier. I have a bag here, Patty, I bought off of you, and I still haven't disassembled it because I think it's gorgeous. She's probably thinking, how far back was this? Look at this.
Everything you say is very true, and I agree with you. But you're defeating my purpose here. I'm trying to get Patty to give us a class. Did you see her journals this week?
I mean, I look at her class.
I'm a horrible person.
Well, she should love the mushy. She deserves it. But I mean, look at this. You know how hard it is to even take this apart? Look at it. She's got this so pretty bowed and pinned that it is still in the package, just like this, Patty. I have not disassembled it yet. If I did a curtsy, I probably would fall down. I know, isn't it awful, Laurel? It's like, it's so pretty. I don't want to take it apart. I wish I could turn it into a journal just like this. And I still have it in the package. And I forget what sale this came from. I haven't even unbagged it yet, Patty, because I just don't want to take it apart. It's awful.
I think we all do the same thing. We all have certain boxes that are our favorite, and we keep them just like you sent them.
But she's amazing. I mean, when I look at the stuff you do, it's just awesome. Even when she flips through her books, who else do you know does a live sale and puts her books down like this? And when she flips through those delicate pages, she even does it with the tips of her fingers. You don't think we don't observe this stuff, Patty? I mean, we do. She'll be real gentle with all those old books, like, I know, Michelle. It's like she don't want it to fall apart either. Because when I hold a book for back then, if you'd have seen my husband, the first time I get a book from the early like 1800, like late 1800s or whatever, I was literally when I opened the books, and he's like, your face expression, you look so crazy. And I'm like, you know how you feel when you look at an old antique car? Well, just because it's not a car and it's a book, I can feel the same. So I'm like sitting there going through, and yes, it's a beautiful book, Michelle. I haven't shown her yet because it does have Shakespeare. And I was like, oh my God, who held this? Who was into this book? Who cherished it for all these years? So I get it. I totally get it. When I watch her flip through them books, like, takes your breath away. Like you can't resist it. It's just, oh, they're beautiful. I'll show you a couple of my favorite books, Miss Patty Lang. You hold on here a minute. I'll be right back. It's time for me to teach you back, woman.
So you are me? Are we on me?
Yes.
Okay.
She's in for it. I'm just saying.
What?
It's not.
Okay.
As soon as it flips over, wait till you see the two books that I fell in love with at auction. Oh my goodness. And I'm not done. I'll be right back.
It can't be. Why the opposites? Maybe. That should be this way. Where the ears?
What are you doing? Why are you playing?
Maybe this way? This way? Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh, here we go. Better. It's too big.
Give me.
Too big.
We're trying to find this one book too. I wanted to show Michelle. Oh, here it is. Okay. So the cover of this one. Hey, TPG. This one here is a gold, even though it looks silver. It's a gold inlay. I can't read what that says, but somebody wrote something in it. The publication on this book is 1855. This is called The Oasis, or Golden Leaves of Friendship by N.L. Ferguson. I love this. Aw. Thank you, TPG. I love that guy, too. He's been one of the best friends a person could ever have. This is here is called the Longfellow Birthday Book. This is only 4 inches by 5.5. So this is a wee teeny little birthday book. Look how cute this is. Love it. Somebody wrote in it. It's signed. It says something Harlan M. something 1876. And this was, look at that script. Oh, somebody wrote in it. It's like, oh God, I love this book. Okay, so there's that one. But this one here, I literally had to fight for this book. This was on an online auction site, and somebody was coming after it. And they came after like the last 10 minutes, and I had to fight for it, but it was worth it. I just love the cover itself. It's just gorgeous. This is Shep's Literary World. And when you open it, you see here. I don't do auctions that much anymore online because they get on this particular site, it's really hard to get stuff because they up the prices so much. $18.98. And this is the Great Poets of America, our most noted novelists, famous women novelists. And this is this book. But I love the cover of this book. It's just, oh, I'm such a sucker for poetry.
Okay, ladies, well, I'm getting off of here. I'm going to watch some TV with my child.
I know, Michelle, isn't it torturous?
Tina, you're leaving us?
Yes, I'm leaving. I'm going to go watch TV with my child.
I'm glad you get to come up, though.
Thank you,
Yes,
ladies.
I'm glad you joined us.
We have to do this more often. Hopefully next week I'll feel better and stay longer.
Okay. That sounds good. I hope you do feel better.
Let me see who they have in here. John Lyncher. Let me find Shakespeare in here. Let me see. We'll get back here. Thanks for coming up, Tina. And don't be afraid.
I know, I know.
Does she look full-weighted?
It's got the recite full readings. Let me see here. William Shakespeare right here. It has, this is what it has in the contents, Michelle. It says, little known of his life, marries Anne Hathaway, conducts theaters and writes plays, histories and characters of his dramas, a Mercy Sonnet, The Abuse of Authority, The Witches, Death of Queen Catherine, The Power of Imagination, The Fairy to Puck, Ariel's Song, Oberon's Vision, Fall of Cardinal Wolsey, Touchstone and Audrey, The Seven Ages, Ophelia, Macbeth's Irresolution, Antony's Oration at Caesar's Funeral, Shylock and Antonio, Hamlet's Soliloquy, I forget how to say that word, Hamlet and the Ghost, and Othelia's Wooing. That's what it has in here about information about Shakespeare. But yes, I love the cover of this book. This cover is beautiful. I got a hold of it and I had to fight for it.
I need to get some ice. Get some ice for that one. That one's easy.
The other one was, there was one more. I have a book. It's all of Shakespeare's plays. I just don't know where it's at right this second. Because I kind of separated the books. I have them in different rooms. I have to find it. I think it's in the other room. And then here's a couple more of torture. Since we're not buying tonight, I figured I would just torture a little bit with the ones I have. This is called Picturesque America. And this is all of Tennyson's poems. These are my favorite books. Love them. I'm like in the middle of reading this one. I love this blue one with the rose. And like Patty, I got it for the intention of tearing it apart. Patty, and I couldn't do it. Once I started reading the contents of this book with the flower, it's just really good. I mean, look at this. And then there was this little itty bitty card in it. And I just couldn't take, I couldn't.
Okay, well, Becca's there. Wait a minute, let her close the door.
And this here, like, for instance, I'll read one. I'll do one reading for you. Ladies of long ago, tell me to what region flown is Flora the fair Roman gone, where lovely Tie's hiding place, her sister in her charming grace. Echo, let thy voice awake, O river, stream, and lake. Answer, where does thy beauty go? Where is fled the south wind snow? Where is Eloise the wise? For those two bewitching eyes, hapless Abelard, was doomed in his cell to live entombed. Where the queen her love who gave cast sign a watery grave, where each lovely cause of woe, where it's fled the south wind snow. Oh God, just these words. It's like, I can't do it. I just can't take it apart. And this is the picture in the beginning of the Oasis. And it's got that. Even some of the foxing come off on the tissue paper. It's like, oh my God.
Tammy, can you send Michelle a link?
Listen to me drool. So there's a surprise in this one.
So you can listen to Michelle.
I know. I would love to hear Michelle drool, but I'm going to make her wait for a minute. Wait till you see this one. Okay. So this one was up with 2 books. And I kept wondering, I mean, sure, this is
not in the room.
But I kept wondering why the person kept fighting so hard for me to get this. Because this was an online auction. This was not an offline auction. So it makes it rougher because you can't see when they're bidding. So anyways, there was a book that came with it. This is what they were after because it's a first edition. Okay, this is the envelope it came in. It actually came set in the book. Did not know what this book was because you could barely see the picture. This is Gray's Elegy from 1890. The inscription says, but look at this. Wait till you guys see this book. Oh, this was like drool heaven. It says 1906 here. This was Castell Brothers, London, printed in Bavaria. This is Elegy written in a country churchyard by Thomas Gray. Look at this book, ladies. God. This is what they were fighting for. And when I finally got this and I looked this up, I could see why. This is like so beautiful. I love this little book. Because this is a stash that I've hidden. This is my stash. Like Patty has her little bookshelf and she's like, until something better comes along, I'm not exchanging it or getting rid of it. This is my bookshelf. That's where these are coming from, guys. This is my stash. And then this is Tennyson poems. This was, but some of these guys were not that bad looking either. Tennyson was cute. That's his picture. And this was 18. Now, see, I hate when they do these really tiny. It looks like maybe 1890 something. I don't know. That's the only thing I don't like about some of these books is you can't read the dates. But I have Poems and Song published AD 1830 is what this says over here. But I can't see the copyright. It says copyright secured and it has 18 something, but the other two numbers are cut off. Well, anyways, what I have found, I have this Uncle Tom's Cabin like down in my store, and I only found one copy of it online, and it's like $240, and there's no illustrations in it whatsoever. But what makes some of these books stand out that people don't realize, it's not Googling just the title and the authors. If you can't find a specific cover, this is a tip from me to you guys, as what I have learned as a bookstore owner and somebody who has been really researching when I have the time, is that if you can't find a specific cover, totally ignore the author and type in just the publishing company. I could not find this Uncle Tom anywhere. And when I typed in the publishing company, it was called Home something. And only one popped up on all of Google. And even though it didn't have a picture, it was the only one with the publishing company because there was no date in the book. Like there was no year in it. So I did find the Home, whatever it's called. And there's only one published on all of Google. So, you know, it's like I tell people when they say they're not of value. Yep. I hear you, Patty. Because people say, well, it can't be of value if you can't find it in Google. I'm like, Google was put there by humans, people. That's what I tell people. If it's not on Google, it's probably because it's more valuable, because being limited edition, they couldn't find a copy to put it online in the first place. So those are the books I have more concerns about when I can't find them. And then this one here, there were two copies of this one. Another cover, I really like the cover of the other one better, but I couldn't get it because when even me, I love my books. And yes, I love online auctions, but I also know my limit too. And there was a book and it just went too much for me. I had to back out of the bid because it was just too high. And the picture was like, it was called Picturesque America, but it had a picture of what's it called? Your paint palette, like a little paint palette on it. And I liked the cover of that other book better, but I couldn't find it. So I got this one, and I don't know what the differences are in between both of them. But this one here was published in, because sometimes you can Google and find them cheaper, but I couldn't find the other one. That's the only thing bad when you're in the middle of an auction. It's hard to look stuff up sometimes. This is 1872. This is the one I wanted to scan pictures out of, and I thought they would be really pretty as postcards. Because whoever did this, they traveled and, you know, it's like pictures from different places. I thought this book was really pretty. But anyways, to shop and compare prices, if you guys want to go check this app out, I don't know if I gave it to you before, Michelle, or not, is you type in ebth.com, and it's everything but the house. And what it is, it's a company out of Missouri, and they were actually pretty brilliant for what they did, because they built an app where they go in, whatever the kids don't pick, they clean out the houses, and they bring everything back, and they take pictures, and they auction. And I'm talking cars, jewelry, books, postcards, everything you can imagine. The only thing I have not been able to find on that site is ledgers. There's never been a ledger posted that I have ever found. And you got like 5 days to bid on some. You can heart it, and it'll send you emails to let you know where your bid stands. It's just really cool that somebody come up with this idea, and you can literally watch the countdown, like right at the end. It'll show the minutes ticking off. And I signed up for it, and I went in there, and I have found, this is where I found all these books. I literally bid on these when it first started. Well, now that the app is getting more popular, the prices are going up. I've seen a pink Cadillac sold on there. They have like the option where you can pick what's closing, so you can go check, and they've had pre-stamped envelopes. Just you type in postcards, you would not believe the postcards I got off of this site. You guys want some more torture? Because I got that too. They're just sitting here. I haven't done anything with them because I'm just enjoying the lusciousness of everything. But I got what I wanted pretty much off the site. I haven't been back because I have to stay away from it. It's like as bad as gambling. You can get addicted to that stuff. But hold on a second. And I'll show you some of the postcards real quick.
Just like that.
Just a little bit more of a tease, guys, and I'll quit. Just a little bit more teasing.
This one's bigger.
Okay, here was one book. These were, somebody who kept these did a really good job. They put these postcards in this book, and it's from 1904 to 1920. And this is what I got off of everything but the house. It's filled with postcards. I went to one of our local antique stores the other day. They were selling postcards for $8 a piece. I was like, oh my God, that's a little steep for me. But look how pretty these are. Whenever you want me to put it back on you, Luce, let me know.
Oh, I'm good. I'm trying to figure out the eyes on this thing.
I'm just going to tease them with postcards right now.
It's okay. Patty's doing a live sale tomorrow.
Yay! Patty, am I getting you in the mood? Look at this. Look how cute this is. Yeah, it's real steep. Some of the people here can be pretty high in prices. The other antique shop was selling them $6 a piece, and I was like, I'll pass. I can't remember how much I paid for these books. I'd have to go back through receipts. But I try to keep my costs at a certain level for some things. But this postcard book I like. So there's that one. Ready for some more? I'm trying to get him revved, Patty.
A live stream, even better. Well, just as good. Thank you.
Oh, that would be cool, Patty. I've seen a couple of those. Curiosity Incorporated had a one where they laid it out on the table. I mean, those auctions were fast. Like, I couldn't handle a fast one. I'd like one to go a little slower. This next book I'm about to show you, this green one. Okay, they sold these with the holders and everything. Like, I got all this off the auction site. I didn't buy any of these albums. I was kind of disappointed because there was another album just like this one I wanted, but it went too high for me, so I had to back out of it. But the other one had the Christmas, and I couldn't get a hold of them, but I tried. But it just went a little too high. But wait till you see these. These are the birthday ones of this particular artist. And I did look up, I can't remember who the artist was, but I found these online and they were selling really high on eBay. So you have these guys and these ones, and then it turns into these. These are so beautiful.
I'll be right back, Tammy.
All right, Liz. These birthday ones are so beautiful. They had horses in them. There was another one I couldn't get that I wanted to, Michelle. It was, oh, what country was it? It was all horses, and it just went over my head. Because some of these books, I mean, people were out there with just money to blow. When it got past, I only go up to like 100. When it got up to like 350, I was gulping because there's no way I could afford it. I just couldn't. So I had to let them go. Because you follow it and you could just quit, and then the other person will just come and keep bidding over you. So I just let it go, because after it hits a certain point, it's like my husband would literally kill me. My crap would be laying outside. Plus, I couldn't afford it anyway. So I didn't get the Christmas book of this, but I did get the birthday. The whole album came with it. And I think I only paid $70 for this entire book. Something like that, because I stop at a certain point. I just can't keep going. I wish I could, but I don't have a money tree. But these are stamped. I'm not sure. They don't have a date on the front of these, but they're beautiful. 1911, 1910 is what some of these are stamped. I just love the art in these particular cards. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. If I can get a good view to you guys. They're just beautiful. It says, birthday greetings. May your birthday's store of pleasure be of overflowing measure, and a life of cloudless weather bring good luck to you together. Bring good luck, yeah, and you together. These are just gorgeous. So there was one. And then here was another book that I had gotten. I love the cover of this book. That there was from the same person, I believe, that did that green one. And then it goes into this. Well, I had a piece of paper in this. Okay, now this book here, inside of it, it says 244.93 cards, postcard book full. It has $295 on it. I got it at that auction for $45.
Okay.
These look like the Campbell Soup kids. And there's pictures of people. Like I said, I mean, I love these. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but yet there's one with the horse on it. I thought this was so pretty. And there's one with deer. I love that deer one. The cards are falling out.
Way off.
But these are some of the things that you get off of that website. I'm telling you, ladies. If you get a chance, you got to check it out at least. Then this here is like whoever's in Kentucky. This is a 1920 card. Stop worrying. You won't get out of this world alive. Oh, they get some funnies in here. I haven't read all these yet. Look at that picture. Oh my goodness. That's literally a postcard from 1913. Look how serious those ladies are being. Whew. They look like they need some eyebrow plucking. But they got the muffs. They got the bushy eyebrows. I love this one with a hat. Oh, I know, Michelle. Look, even a horseshoe. A horseshoe. You know what's funny is I bought those horseshoe cloth napkins off of you, Michelle, when you had your sale. And you know where they're going to go. Into the horse journal you made me. Those, I don't want to say, you know what I mean. They were the cloth. I can't speak tonight. And then these here came loose. These were from the same site. And these were the Valentines. These ones fell out.
Now, where was I up to?
What I like to do, I mean, I know people don't like to scan these, but one thing about having the originals, and you can't find things like this anymore. I would love to scan some of these just to be able to fussy cut them out and use them, like to share them, because I don't want to get rid of some of the originals. But this was a pop-up one. To my Valentine, my umbrella is built for two. That, of course, means me and you. That's so cute. Oh, gosh. These remind me of my grandmothers. And this was it. This was all the, but I want to share them. Like, I don't want to keep them all to myself, but I don't want to get rid of all the originals either. So I said some things I think are meant to be scanned so you can keep them alive. But I do know that a lot of people just like original stuff too. I don't know. I'm really iffy on that. But these were all, look at that sailor one. Oh, that's so stinking cute. This one here says, "To my sweetheart." And they sent these, Michelle. Look how cute that cheerleader one is. I mean, look at that skirt. She looks like a Barbie doll. So this is my stash. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm hoarding. Like, this is my hoard that you're seeing tonight. I just love them.
There is she. How do you make corners?
I love them. I absolutely love them.
I guess I did.
Look here. Laurel, purple lady. Looky there. Purple lady head. She's got a purple hat on. But that's my stash pretty much. This is like my my husband's like, you bought them, you're supposed to sell them. And I'm like, Mike, shh. I'm sorry, but sometimes it looks better in person than what you see on the screen, and you just can't part with it. So I get to share my goodie stash with you guys. This is my hoarding stash. It's awful.
Right. And look at those ones. Where's my purple? Oh, I know I need all these pieces.
See, that's what I was thinking about that, you know, like when you see the journals that have,
Purple.
they look like they're digital already. Like it come from a scrapbooking paper with flowers, and then they stamp over top what a library card looks like. And turn them into library cards. Like, I don't know if there's a stamp for a library card or not, but I think those are so adorable. I don't know how to make none of that stuff. My weakness, my trouble area, we shall say, is ephemera. Like every time I do a journal, I know that I got enough pages and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know how to make enough ephemera. That's what I've been working on lately. Like I just bought the thumb punch to make the pockets, and I downloaded some digital kits because I don't know how to do ephemera. Like all you people see all this cute little stuff and you make it. I don't know how to do that. I'm not into the cutesy little stuff. I can do the bigger stuff. So that's my weak area. Oh, I know. I'm hoarding these. I can't. They've been sitting right beside my bed in my bedroom, guarded with my life. It's like I dare a robber to come in and take him. I'll kill him. It's like go near my stuff. I dare you. It's one thing I like about working from home too, is I don't have to worry about that too much. I'd fight to the death over some of this stuff. I know that's terrible when they're materialistic, but oh my gosh, they're just adorable. It's like touch my books and I'll break your fingers. Certain things I'll let go. You can take my TV. I don't care. Just don't touch my stash, my vintage stuff. Leave it alone. You can take everything else. It's horrible. It's horrible to love stuff that much. But I can't help it. All of these ones in here are a variety. This is post dated in Wisconsin. This is funny. Dear cousin, I'm glad to hear about your boy. What are you going to call him? Tell Ella to answer my letter. Congratulations from all the family. Somebody had a baby. Aw, look at the little kitties. I love reading their messages. Look at the little kitty. Christmas greetings. That's so stinking cute. I know. I have a hard time letting go. I mean, I think I probably could go through and pick out some favorites, but I don't know how Patty does it. If I was her with all this goodness that she sees on a daily basis, I think I would have a whole separate house and it would be nothing but vintage stuff. It would be my hoard house. If I could get away with it, I would. I've even tried to talk my husband into building a shed in the yard, and he's like, no, because I could just hoard this stuff, never let it go. But then, you know, you got to tell yourself, share. I have to force myself to share some things. What is this? Ew, I didn't see this. See, like I said, I've never even looked through all of them. I've just flipped. Okay, so we're going to see what's hidden in this one. We have a postcard wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Rose and bird. Rose and somebody. No Baldingers yet and no Heralds. Okay, this is real estate paper. Oh, how cute is this? This is December 24th. Okay, this is a 1970 clipping.
So the red goes first. This one's opposite. Oh, no.
And this is actually about this card. This card was received in 1908 and was loaned to us from a collection of her mother's cards by Mrs. Leroy Max. How cool is this? So there is the newspaper clipping about this particular card, which was from 1918. Oh, I love when people do that. Patty, I'm looking for them. But I love that they put this paper clip in here, put this clipping in here about this card. That is so cute. See what else they got in here. Ooh, there's a ship one. It says John B. Stetson Company, Women's Branch of the Noonday Prayer Service Weekly Review. This is Monday, October 8th, 1894. That's awesome. So this was a card for some type of church thing. And then we have another newspaper clipping about the same card. It's the same newspaper clipping. There's two of them. This one says Mama on it. How cool is that? And it was hidden behind this card. Oh, I'm telling y'all. That is like so cool. This here is like not like our plastic today. Look how cool this is. This is like wires and it's got plastic hanging around it. Like it's like a thicker. It's not like our 4x6s in our photo albums today. It's like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like at all what's in our photo albums. It's like, I don't know where I have felt this before. I felt this type of plastic somewhere, but it's almost like a squeaky plastic. It's different. Like, I don't know. Oh, here's another one from that same church. Look at this. John B. Stetson Noonday Prayer Service. This is from 1895. And it's got birds. Boy, that's pretty. But I mean, if you go into everything but the house and you type in postcards or you type in, I mean, sometimes you'll get pop-ups of baseball cards too and things like that. Or you type in books and they'll bring up all the books and you just nose around. It's interesting what you see on there. Okay, this is a greeting from a Valentine for little Irene from Ludwig. And then you open this newspaper up. Oh, and this says in 1907, the above Valentine card was received by Mrs. B. Charles in Allentown, Pennsylvania. How cool is that? I wish I got the newspaper. I used to cut poems out of them all the time when I was a kid. When I find that Shakespeare's entire literary works, Michelle, have it. in a big brown book. So that's my only Shakespeare book besides the one I showed you that had just a little bit of him in it. Because I like Shakespeare too. I'm not obsessed with him, but I do like him. I like all poetry. I had to learn how to paraphrase when I was in college, and man, that was a joy. That was really hard. These two were 1908. And I don't know what that one is. Look how pretty that is. Oh, that's so gorgeous. Hey, Joe. Did I lose with these? Where'd you go, Luce? I lost Luce. And then this one here is pretty too. Christmas greetings and good wishes. There's a bunch for sure. That was fun. We're going through my stash, Joe. I want to look at some of these ones. I can't get over how tiny this book is. Look at this. Like it fits in my hand. The Longfellow birthday book. It was owned by a Helen somebody, Hamblett, in 1883. It's like what they did was whoever's birthday fell under that date, it looks like they signed it. I like when Patty makes up stories. So here we have February 9th. And this says Mary E. Blood, 1851. See? Make up a story about Mary E. Blood, Patty. Look at this. Each of these pictures has one of those little tissue type paper things. And this is the month of February. And then you keep going. It must have every day of the year in it, is what they've done. And then you get to February 19th, and you have a Daniel. That doesn't look like a D. It looks like a K. Or no, is that Mariel? I don't know. Somebody A. Elliot. I know, Patty. Look how cool this writing is. How do these people learn to write like this? I mean, like with those quill pens, like how did they do it? Why didn't our parents teach us to write that fancy? With all the little swirls and doodads. There's a Mary Elliott under March 14th. And March 13th, we have a somebody M. Wilson in 1876. And then there's an 1879. This must have been their family birthdays. And how cool is this that they have a birthday book to write birthdays in like this? Our birthday books don't look like this. All we get's the month and that's it. 1855. This looks like a Nora Starling. No Baldinger yet. I haven't seen a Herald yet, but I'm a-looking. This is like so cool. Each month has a picture in tissue paper. is so cool. And they signed it. 1882. See if anybody's birthday's on mine. Get back here to January. Nope. Nobody's written under mine. Pick a month, guys. What birth month is yours, Michelle? May? Was yours in May? Let's see what May says. I'm terrible remembering birthdays. Unless I'm reminded. It's awful. May 19th. Okay, let me see. Is there anybody under Michelle's? There's the 15th, the 17th, the 18th are blank. Nope. There was like ones that were recorded for the book. It's got Fitch, 1762, J. Wilson, 1783, and Mrs. Jameson, 1797. Like that's actually published in the book itself. Let's see what May has to say. We'll go to the beginning. See how fancy this book is. Okay, this is your picture for your month, which is pretty. Then you get your little tissue paper. And then it says May. It is not always May. I can't reach that. I can't read. Let's see if I can read it. This is a Spanish proverb. No hay pajeros en los nidos de entano. Whatever that means. And it says, the sun is bright, the air is clear, the darting swallows soar and sing. And from the stately elms I hear the bluebird prophesying spring. So blue yon winding river flows. It seems an outlet from the sky. We're waiting till the west wind blows. The frighted clouds at anchor lie. All things are new, the buds, the leaves that glide the elms, trees, nodding crests, and even the nest beneath the eaves. There are no birds in this last year's nest. All things rejoice in youth and love, the fullness of their first delight, and learn from the soft heavens above the melting tenderness of night. Maiden that readest the simple rhyme, enjoy thy youth, it will not stay. Enjoy the fragrance of thy prime, for oh, it's not always May. Enjoy the spring of love and youth. To some good angel leave the rest, for time will teach thee soon the truth. There are no birds in last year's nest. Is that like not cool? In character and manners and style in all things, the supreme excellence is simplicity. You know that people nowadays to what is old give little praise. All must be new in prose and verse. They want hot bread or something worse. This is funny. The wholesome bread of yesterday, too stale for them, is thrown away, nor is their thirst with water slaked. Interlude before the poet's tale, wayside inn. He was Octavian's prosperous star, the rush of Caesar's conquering car, a battle call. His Scipio virtue, his the skill and the indomitable will of Hannibal. Copeless D. Manrique, translated from the Spanish. That's like so funny. Oh, that was May 1st. I kept reading. They got like a couple little quotes and some birthdays. And then it goes back to it and some more birthdays. This is like really a cool book. Arthur, 1845. No heralds. But this is like so cool. Love it. I love this little book. It's just so cute. Aw, thanks, Jennifer. I know. I read these books and I'm like, oh. Could you imagine guys talking to ladies in this day and age like this? Oh my God, we'd be seeing swooning all over the streets. and staying, like, yo, call me later, you get thou beautiful lady. It's like, I can't even imagine. It's like unbelievable. Somebody was telling me on another YouTube channel that there is a site that you can look up books that aren't copyright striked against your channel that you can actually read, but I haven't done it. I was always afraid of getting copyright striked. It's like every time you play music or you do something, you get punished for it. I didn't want to be in YouTube jail. That's what I call it. I call it YouTube jail. I had a friend that got in trouble on here. Test It with Ty. I moderate for her channel, and she reads a lot of the news that's going on, with celebrities and things like that on one of her days. And she literally was in YouTube jail. They locked her out of her YouTube channel, and she got a hold of YouTube. It's like, what the heck? She's only reporting the news. Somebody didn't like it. Never know on here. I love reading stuff like that. My favorite movie of all time that I really loved, that really brought out old poetry, and they read Tennyson, was watching The Notebook. When he sat out on the porch and would read with his dad on the porch swing, was like one of my favorite parts of all times of that movie. Because I'm like, oh, who does that? Like, who does stuff like that anymore? Oh my goodness. If you quarrel mit me, I feel like I could suicide commit. What the heck? That's a crazy thing to be on a card. I would not send that to someone. See, I was afraid about copyrights, Michelle. I didn't know. I've only heard one person that does a channel. Her and her sister do tarot card readings. I love going into their channel. They read my tarot cards, and it's hysterical, some of the things that comes up. I love doing it for amusement. And she was reading The Princess Bride on her channel. I'm like, you can get away with that? Right now, I need to downsize my store. My goal right now, I have had so many people literally drop off those friggin' Harlequin romances. It's driving me crazy. And I have so many. That's why the whole month of July, my channel is going to consist of book bundles for $2. 10 books for $2. You can't beat it, because this is it. If they don't sell, I got to move them. I've just got, when we had the leak in the back garage, I had to move everything to the middle of my store. I mean, if Patty would come to my store right now, she would have her hands on her hips like, what the hell, Tammy? Organize this shit. I'm not kidding. To get into my store right now is a maze, because we had a water issue. I had to move things forward. I have some stuff still out there that's okay, but I was afraid mold would get into my books. I don't have the room. So like all my books are pushed to the center. I have my bathroom literally in my store halfway filled of books. It's awful, Patty. It's a mess. And it's driving me crazy because like I can't move. So I'm down to the last 2 skids because I've been cleaning them off and bringing them in, because when we ended up with the moisture in that back garage where it flooded, we got stupid silverfish, and they keep trying to eat my magazines, and I'm trying to get them off of the magazines. So I've been washing the books, reboxing them in clean boxes, and moving them to the center of the store. And I'm down to the last 2 skids. I have been busting my ass literally the past 2 weeks. 7 skids filled. I have literally cleaned and moved by myself. So it's like, it keeps me active. I mean, yeah, I'm 52 and I don't want to slouch around either because it does keep me busy, even though my sciatic nerve is like going through the roof because I do have a sciatic nerve issue in my back too. But I just keep pushing because I know that I'm not bound for bed. I don't want to sit on my butt all day. I'm not ready for that. I have to keep the exercise in there. So my books pretty much are my exercise because that's all I do is lift and move, lift and move. And my butt's been kicked the past couple weeks. I mean, I'm exhausted. And if I don't have my vitamin D, which I've been off of all my vitamins the past 3 days, I am like a zombie. So last night, there was no way I was coming. I'm like, I could not move. I just wanted to go to bed. My husband's like, I pushed it to cook dinner and stuff last night so we would have like leftovers and stuff, but I was exhausted last night because there's no air conditioning in that back garage. I'm in this heat, literally sweating my butt off because there's no air to that garage. So I'm out there cleaning and moving, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I don't mind a good sweaty workout. But then when your water's cut off because you have a water line break, talk about suck. I went to bed the night before last and I stunk so bad. I literally took baby wipes just to clean my freaking armpits. I told my husband, really? We had to have a water line break on one of the lanes up here and it caused us to have no water pressure. I'm like, I can't deal with this. Working in the heat and stinking and you can't even take a shower. Heck, I was praying for rain. I'd have been outside in the backyard washing with the bar soap. But my husband, he's working in the mill coming home and he's like, this is terrible. But by the next morning it was on. So I couldn't wait. I was like up at 7 o'clock in the morning, jumping in the shower just to get clean. But we've had a couple water line breaks the past couple weeks. So it's not been fun. And but I do like the workout because when I was an airbrush painter, we worked in like 110-degree heat. I would lose 3 pan sizes every time I would go back to that mill because we worked 6 months on, 6 months off. And but I do, I was used to it. Now that I'm getting older, and because I have the small vessel disease, like I can't sit for long periods of time and I can't stand for long periods of time. So I like my job because I can do up and down. When I get tired of standing, I can sit and do go through books. And when my feet start to swell either way. And if I stand too long, sit too long, then I can stand up and keep busy. So that's one thing I do love about my bookstore is that I can alternate between both. But it's just crazy. It gets crazy down there. But it's like freezing in my basement as far as like where my desk is located. It's like really nice and cool there. Because we do have central air, but it just doesn't pump in the back garage. We don't have it hooked up. So trying to get all the books back out of there. And then I told him I just don't have the room. So I don't have like a warehouse store like most bookstores do. So I'm going to be pushing book bundles out the door. So whatever people don't buy, there's this one place I like to go that tries to raise some money in like a bigger populated area. And I am going to ask them before I donate the books if they don't want them, if they recycle them. I just rather see them recycled than end up in a landfill. So if they send them to the recycling, what doesn't sell them, that's who's going to get them. That's the companies I'm going to be asking. Because I personally, we had bins, we could do that up the road, but I don't want to throw them away. I want to give them a chance. But if they don't sell, I've got to move them. I'm running out of room. I'm drowning in books right now. And then, we'll see what happens. Part of me wants to stick with it and turn it into a half bookstore, half craft store where I can have crafting. That's another reason why I want to move the books down there, because I want to be able to craft down there too. and be able to work on that in between customers coming in when I do have them. And I just don't have the room to do it. Because I thought about turning half of my bathroom down there into my crafting space, because it is a pretty nice sized bathroom. But I am so unorganized. If you see my house right now, this past weekend, I really dug in and I got a lot of stuff taken care of. And like, I wish I would have been able to have the time to do this before we had the community yard sale. What I like doing is going through each room at a time and cleaning. And what I don't want anymore put out in the garage for the community yard sale. I didn't have a chance to do that this year. So I'm doing it now for next year. I started early where I know I'll get it done. You couldn't even see my dining room floor. So I had to go in there and I had taken all the boxes out of it. It took me 2 whole days this whole weekend. That's all I did, was stripping my entire dining room down, because my dining room is half dining room, half crafts. So, and I don't have any way to organize it, because like I don't have like any cubby holes and I really don't want to get a bunch of totes, because I think totes takes up too much space. I like what I have seen some crafters do is when they have set up, like, it's kind of like a bookshelf type of deal, but the shelves are like empty, but they're long enough to where you can get baskets and put stuff in them and then set them in the cubby holes, if you know what I'm talking about, to where, like, say I wanted to make a bunch of these and I could put these in a basket, because these are kind of like ephemera cards to me that I worked on here one day, and one bag of papers or a basket of papers that I could set sideways and just pluck whenever I need it, but I don't have the space to put one of those up. So I told my husband, I was looking around, because like my crafts are scattered everywhere. Like I've got some in my bedroom, I have some in my here, and I have some in my dining room. They're all over my house. And I just wish I had one room I could put it all in. So I told him, once I got the room emptied and got sorted, I got rid of a bunch of stuff, which I'm going to get rid of. It's just junk. Like, people keep buying me knickknacks that I don't want. So, and I said, not to be ignorant, but like I told my kids, please don't buy me knickknacks. Give me a food card. I'll be totally happy to go out to a restaurant, because I just don't want gifts like that anymore. And it's just more dusting. I have like the knickknacks I like. It seems like you spend your whole life building your house up like a hope chest. And then once you got it there, you're like, what do I do? And like every time someone passes away in the family, I'll get rid of a bunch of stuff. And then people are pushing more stuff at me. And I mean, not being rude and ungrateful, but it's like, I just don't have the room for it anymore. Like my mom tells me, well, when I pass away, you're going to get this, bedroom suit, because she's got one for each of us kids. She's got, if you would see my mother's house, she's got about 5, if not more, what the heck are they called? China closets. And she's like, this whole one will come to you because when your great aunt died, she left it to me. And it's like, Mom, I have no room. I mean, it's like, and even I told my kids, you want it? And they're like, no, because we don't have the room either. So it's like, everything I get, I'll have to sell, because I just don't have the room for it. And all I want to do is just get rid of stuff. It's not art. It's not crafts I want to get rid of. It's just stuff. And then she was cleaning house for this one lady, and she brought in these 2 horse mugs. I really just don't have the room for them. I love horses, but I'm like running out of room. My husband teases me all the time. He says, if something happens to you, I'm bringing a dump truck in here. I said, no, you're not. Because there's just so much stuff. But anyways, I have a 3-piece set that goes with the coffee table. And I said, well, if I get rid of the end stand, where the end stand sets, I could actually put a cubby hole thing in there and put this away. Like start putting some of the stuff in stuff like the baskets. And maybe buy like a cabinet for it to go on or something. I don't know. But we saw a dresser at this antique mall we were at here. And it's like an office drawer type of thing. But I think the drawers are too small. They would be great for paper. But my books would never fit in them. You'd be lucky to be able to fit 2 books in it and it would be filled. It's one of those type of cabinets where you could label, but they're not big enough. So I don't know. But I've got so many crafts. Oh gosh. And so much plastic totes. I don't need any more. I don't want any more plastic totes. I just want to be able to organize everything in one place. And my makeup is just crazy. The makeup stuff I have is unreal. And plus my attic, I can't get to it. So that's off limits, which really hurts because all this stuff, like, you know, my Christmas decorations and things like that is in the closet in the room I'm sitting in on top of that. So that's why it always looks messy. Because this is like a computer / craft / attic storage room because I have no place to put anything. And I started out my channel doing makeup. I got so much makeup, it's disgusting. I even thought about redoing Mondays as Makeup Monday and maybe doing makeup one day a week again, just because I've got makeup I've never even opened yet to review. Because I do miss doing makeup some. It's just that I don't wear it every day. But I don't know. I really don't know. My husband's like, you keep changing. I said, that's because I'm a variety person. I don't want to do just one thing on my channel. I want to do many things. That's my problem. I can't stay focused in one category. It's horrible. But I do enjoy doing product reviews. I think product reviews are a lot of fun. It doesn't even have to be makeup. I've done some cooking. I've done popcorn popper review. I was starting to get free stuff. People from Amazon were reaching out to me off of my Instagram and they started sending me free stuff to do. It was crazy the free stuff I was getting, but then that's more junk I don't need. I got a brand new, I had a whole like complete set of makeup brushes to review, all kinds of stuff. I know a friend of mine, she got into fitness stuff. I think it was Test It With Ty did. She, because she was doing stuff with dieting, they sent her like a mini fridge and gave it to her just to do a review on. And she got to keep the fridge. Even though you might not, you know, get paid and sponsored, sometimes you just get free stuff to do on your channel, which is what happened to me a couple times. But I just don't need anything. That's the problem. I love doing reviews, but I don't need free stuff. Not that I'm complaining it's free. It's just, oh, I gotta unclutter. I told my husband I'm a deep cleaner. Like you will come in my house and you will see all of my clothes neatly folded in my drawers. But I am the worst clutterer in the world on the surface. Terrible at it. And my mom used to be the same way. She would pile all kinds of stuff on her dining room table and just move it from one room to another. Did you get the craft while you were hanging out? Are you having your sale at the same time tomorrow, Patty? Is it going to be an evening sale at 7? I love watching the new stuff she comes up with. Well, thanks for coming in, Patty. Oh, that's right. No sale. She was just coming. Okay. That's right. It is a holiday. Shoot. Oh, thanks for reminding me. I didn't go out today and get my mother-in-law a happy anniversary card. Oh, crap. And I was out today, too. My mother-in-law's anniversary's tomorrow with my husband's stepdad. Darn it. I forgot all about getting them a card. I'll have to go digging through my greeting card section. Yeah, boom, boom. You know, they've been firing firecrackers here since last weekend. I don't know if they do that up your way, Michelle, or not, but man, they do it down here all the time. You enjoy, Patty. We got to wait clear till Monday to see her new goodies. I always love to see what she's going to bring to the table. She's always got good stuff. Yeah, I think I'm going to go too. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Even though I didn't work. Well, I did work a little bit today in the garage, but I got to load up my vehicle whenever I get through these books and take a whole bunch to donate. It's just so hot and sweaty out there, but at least I got some work done today. I just didn't open my store today. But anyway, Michelle, they're going to be running a scope down my throat too. They decided to do both. So starting Sunday, I'm going to be starving. So I tell my husband it's going to be horrible. The prep days, they say, are the hardest because you got to do 2 days of eating what they have on this menu, and then you have one day where you can only have liquids. Well, thanks for coming, Scotty. Thanks for coming, everybody. This was a lot of fun, you guys. It was great having people up on the panel, too. Lots and lots of fun. I will. You guys have a great evening. Thanks for spending some of your time with me. See you later, Louise, Joe, Laurel, Patty, Scotty. Who else left? Jennifer, Jane. And if there's any comments I missed, sorry. I'll try to go back and reread them. You guys have a great 4th, too. And happy Canada Day to Louise. Good night, Joe.